Right. Sound. See if any peeps come over. I don't know. Just let me. I've just had a bath, so my hair's a bit frizzy, and you can see me white hair. Yeah, and I'm in my PJs, so. Ooh, no. Hi, Lois. So I thought I'd sit in the room that brings me much joy, because that is an energy. Thank you. Yeah. Still faffing about with my designs. I'm just trying to think what I'm putting together here, because I wrote a few things out and I won't look at them properly. I'll just, because there's obviously a video I want to shout out, a video that I'm going to go through, just found it now. Not anybody new, it's someone from years ago. My dad used to read his books, which is Wayne Dyer, but it's just one that popped up, which was to do with today. So that just popped up for me today to share for maybe other people that don't know him or haven't seen the video, but it's just something he was saying at the beginning, which I'm going to play and then do a rundown in between of, you know, commentating sort of thing of what I feel, you know, all to do with energy. So we'll just see. There's 3 in at the minute. So we've got Lois. My nails are growing so quickly at the minute. Like, oh, there's a load of men next door and they're in the garden, and I thought, what's going on? What's going on? I have something over there as well. I don't know if you can see it in the shadow there. Or I've got a hairdressing doll's head to practice dreads on. When I get round to it, another thing, you know, I'm always expanding. I'm always expanding with creativity, as you can see with most of the stuff in the. There's I think that cushion up there is Rachel Pixie's meditation cushion, still there. Hi Violet. My nails too for the first. Yeah, mine have been like that, like really. A few have snapped off, but they don't normally get to, they don't even get to this length, some of them, before they, you know, start snapping. But yeah, I noticed that. My hair feels thicker these days. Well, I can't say my hair feels thicker, because it is thicker because of dreads. Dreads makes your hair thicker, so yeah. Oh yeah, the bun is just because you just stick it in. It's just because I had a bath, so I had to keep it out of the way. So yeah, this is what it looks like in a bun. If you haven't seen it, I don't know what the back looks like, because normally it looks fine messy anyway. I don't know. Anybody interested? I'm trying to get comfy because I don't normally sit in here and the lighting's like shocking. And it's a bit of a khaki angle, but there you go. An antenna then. Yeah, what have I got a bit sticking out like? Oh yeah, like just tuck it in there. The hair is an antennae. I've got 6 in the house, so I'll just wait a few more minutes before I start playing Wayne Dyer. And if you don't know of him, I've got a book in there somewhere. I couldn't find the Dr. Emoto book, but it is there. Not my hair, but yeah. My dad had a Wayne Dyer book that was in the loft, actually. Dad, if you're watching, from years ago. And this video was from 7 years ago. And as I'm saying, 7 years ago, with that number 7 again, the 7 in chat. And a 1, so 7 and 1 is 8, infinity. Thank you, Violet. So, yeah, this chat is on energy, because I just feel obviously, with what's going on in the world, no matter what people are looking at, believing, feeding into, because it's an age of, well, it is an age of awareness and consciousness. Yeah, 2020, it's an age of information. There's lots of information out there. So a lot of people are getting caught up in all sorts of different stuff. Like I said, if you don't move, because I think I did put expand on it, if you're not always expanding your mind as well and expanding into new things, I've always said you're staying stale. And when you're staying stale, you're not really in the now, are you? Because everything changes. Seasons change. We have the constant in it, but seasons change. And to have an open mind is what you really, really need right now. And to have a strong mind as well. That's being fed with the right stuff. Not thoughts that are coming in that aren't really yours. They're coming from outside influences like mainstream media. What people are telling you, that's why you've got to sort of, you have to tune into yourself and tune into other things like nature and so on and so forth that we all talk about. Could go on forever. I just think it's very important because, like I said, we are seeing, the world is seeing right now, people going bat shit crazy because they don't understand what's going on with the whole, the way stuff's put out there to put people in negative frequencies, to lower the frequencies, which, as we know, makes you ill, puts you in a dis-ease, which gives you a disease in your body, and all this sort of stuff. So when a so-called illness might come round, even if it's, manipulated or whatever, you're not going to do very well if your frequency is very low. It's not going to help. And also, you've got people fighting the wrong people. It's not we the people we should be fighting, it's those above in the control systems. But they always want people fighting because it does their job for them to, people fighting among themselves, and then it gets violent and then things happen and then it's not good. You can see it in past cycles of stuff that's happened. So because I've had a couple of things crop up this week, with certain people in the YouTube community coming up with, like I said, 2 and 2 and getting 10, and looking at it, hi Adam, not looking at it like, because we are looking at the shadow of the physical world, we're also supposed to be looking at the shadows in with us. So I still think there's other people still projecting their shadows on other people, of what they're feeling, and blaming other people and not taking responsibility for their own shadows. I've seen that quite a lot this week in places on here and off here, outside the net, I should say, where, and I've had an experience in my life as well, because I've actually, been around and dated narcissistic people, and they always never ever take responsibility for their behaviour. They blame it on everyone else, and try to make them really think the other person that it isn't them. Hi, Healing Minds Rambling. Yeah, I caught you live. Yay. So I'm just going to let this flow. They blame everything on you. Yeah, absolutely. You're matching a frequency of disease when you develop disease. I've probably said that the wrong way around. Yeah, I'm just not going to look at chat a minute because I'm just in the flow. So, yeah, so they blame everything on you. They tell lies. They try and make it look like it's always you, and they never take responsibility. And the reason why I think narcissistic people do it is because they are not happy with themselves. So if they think they can drag people down lower than them, they feel higher than them. And no one's higher than anyone anyway, but just in the energy, hi Pam, they feel better because it makes them feel sort of important. And it's like they like to see people hurting, people, I don't know, it's control, isn't it? It's control. It's control. They like control. They do like control. And I don't mean in that sense of we all don't like being told what to do. I don't. But I'm not somebody that would knowingly, like when you're in a relationship, this person used to put me down all the time. And I'm just saying this as it's an experience. It's not, this person I forgive, they don't know that, but, I wouldn't choose to go back there or anything, but I'm just bringing this up an experience. Because people on here, when you start talking about experiences, like the other day with someone who's off the YouTube community, it's not necessarily getting at that person. As I was talking to Red Phil Pill about this today, it's just bringing something up because it's an energy vampires. It's an experience that I can talk about because I'm experiencing it, and I'm talking about it. It's not because people go, oh, don't let it get you and don't let it bring you down in vibes, which is what I'm talking about tonight. It's like, hi Tapper. It's like, no, I need to speak about it because it's an experience, and I know other people will be having the exact same experience or have had the exact same experience. You can only talk through experience. So this isn't trying to put this person down. They're going through their own path, like the other person was the other day. They're going through their own path. It's an individual path, and hopefully they'll get to the point in their life at some point. Maybe not, I don't know. But this person I'm talking about now, hopefully they will see the light, if you want to say that. So so this person, they can be verbally abusive. They can be physically abusive. And it's the anger within them. They don't know how to, let's say, transmute it, transcend it, whatever, take it within and just get rid of it. They don't know how to do it, so they lash out in words or in physical form, in my experience. And like I said, they will never take responsibility. And every relationship they go in or whatever it is, they'll always be the same. And they'll always blame the next person and the next person and the next person. And they're wondering why it might be going all pear-shaped, but they'll still blame the person. And it's not saying that someone in that relationship isn't, you don't have your spats and things. But when somebody, that, like I'm saying, the difference with me is nobody likes being told what to do. That's a fact, because your inner soul, which will go in this video in a bit, which will explain it very well, wants to expand. And narcissistic people don't want you to expand. In my experience, they do not want you to expand. If it's a relationship, they do not want you to expand anywhere. If you're quite a bubbly person and you're quite happy within yourself, they come along because it's like, I'm off to the flame, and I'm off to the light. It's like, ooh, she's nice, and she bring me up. And then all of a sudden, they act a bit nice at the beginning because everyone always puts their best airs and graces on. Do you know what I mean? But then something changes and this person starts showing the true colours. And you're like, oh my God, like, where did that come from? Yes, they are in a lot. Yeah, they're in a lot of pain and they're drowning. Yeah, and they put, yeah. But the only way they're going to get through it is if they actually look at the demons, the shadow self, whatever people call it, because people call it very many different things. But like I said, they'll never take responsibility for anything they say or anything they do. It just makes them feel better at the time that they're putting someone down to make them feel better. And they like the control because they can't control their life. They're not controlling their energies, let's say. They feel the need that if they control somebody else, it's giving them that sort of beneficial sort of, well, I don't even know what the right word is, sink or swim. Yeah. And that's what they need to learn to do. That's what we're all learning to do. So it's like I said, I don't like being controlled, but I wouldn't be in, hi Sleeping Warrior, be in a relationship where I was, but in that relationship, I wouldn't be calling that person and putting that person down, nothing yet, constantly. I'm just talking about experiences because I'm talking about energy. Yeah, it's like they fear love, don't they? Yeah, like they fear love. Like they're afraid to let go and feel them real feelings of, they're bothered about what people think of them, what they look like. It's that quite materialistic as well. And it's that thing of they don't want to let go, but they like to control the other person and not let them expand, and they'll start saying, they don't want you to go out, what you're wearing. They They try to stop all the things that they liked in you in the first place and then that they were attracted to. And that's why you get confused because you're like, hang on a minute. Like, what? All them things I am, you're trying to stop. Well, this is where we've got to all take responsibility for our actions. It's like I said, this person used to call me, do this, do that. I never, even when they were at the nastiest, never wanted to call them or put them down because I'm just not like that. Not unless I'm really, 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 really pushed, which in the end you do get really, really, really pushed. But I would feel bad. These people never feel bad. I've known people that have told me when they've gone out with the same sort of people. I know someone from years ago who went out with this person, and it took him quite a long time to sort of get away from this person, like release them and leave them. But still, they used to try and get in contact, and it was always that same thing going on, and it's just mad. But they put you in quite a low place where you actually get that confused yourself. You think it actually is you, and then when you get released from that, hopefully if you do get rid, you start finding yourself again, and you're like, because they do put you in a situation where you do actually, yeah, same here, you do actually forget who you are in that relationship, and you start to believe what they're saying about you. Yeah, mirror what they're saying about you. And then when you come out of it, you're like, what was I doing? Like, what was I doing? What was I doing? Because they make you try and depend on them, that you end up like a shriveling wreck. Do you know what I mean? Been there, done it, worn the t-shirt, wouldn't ever go there again. But it was a good experience to know what that was, because I'd never be going there ever again with anybody who was ever like that. These kind of people, they are damaged. This is what I'm saying. It's not, I forgive this person because I know they're damaged. I know they've gone through some sort of trauma that they might eat that because they can't work it out and they don't know, they're not looking at it, they're choosing to not look, and they're carrying on doing the same old things. You can't change the world on the outside without changing yourself on the inside. It doesn't work like that without changing, and this is why I'm talking about expansion. You've always expanding. So in a sense, I feel sorry for this person because they are going through something, but they're not helping themselves at the same time. So they end up pushing people away, and then they're wondering why, people are starting to see they don't really want to be around them anymore, and all this, that, and the other, because they're projecting all their shit of some sort of trauma that they're not working out yet, which in a sense isn't their fault, on others, and they start mirroring, and it also gives a person on the opposite end of that relationship to realise that you should never let anyone do that to you. You should have boundaries in certain areas. You should speak up. Do you know what I mean? But people do that because they think they love people. Most of these people don't know what love is. They think it's through a materialistic thing, through what they're getting out of a relationship, not as in the little things and, them sort of things. It's all like, it is quite materialistic. They don't realise. But yeah, that's an experience. And then, like a bit of an experience I've had this week with people on YouTube. It's a lot of reflection going on at the minute, a lot of not understanding themselves, people not realising that we all hold past traumas, and some people don't realise it sometimes till they get triggered into something. And that's what we're trying to work on. Yes, and to not give all of yourself, not to give all of yourself away. I've said this before, it's about self-love for yourself. It's not that, I love myself. It's self-love for yourself. Have respect for yourself. Don't let people walk all over you. I used to in the past because I am quite soft-natured, and I've had to build that up a bit. That's why you'll see me rant on it. I've had to build it up. I've let my boundaries down, and every time I've done that, I've wished I hadn't in some sort of manner, even if it's big or small. I've just think, why did I do that yet again? Giving people the benefit of the doubt all the time, when really intuitively, I knew all along. I knew with this person twice. Oh, maybe they'll change. No, they didn't change. 17 in chat. But I do not believe people can't change. I do believe they can change when they want to change. Some people don't want to change. Some people actually like that energy that they're in. They're like the woe is me. They like the victim mode. I've been in victim mode before. I'm telling, say it as it is. They want to wade in all that shit. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, but after a bit, it gets a bit boring, doesn't it? Because you're not doing anything. You're not expanding. You're just staying in the same old crap with the same old, because this is manifesting as well, the same old circumstances, sometimes with the same old friends. A lot of people who expand themselves move on from different friends. Like they say, what's the saying where it's like, some people are in your life for a day, a month, a year, forever, whatever, but there's a lot of people that move about. You will have lost friends. You'll be losing friends right now through being called a conspiracy theorist and what's going on right now. You will you're always moving and meeting new people and stuff like that. And there's a song that I think I put on my community page. I won't be able to play it, but I'll try and say it because it's really, 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 really nice song. Let me just see if I can find it. Learn and move forward. Yeah, it's all learning and moving forward. If you're not going to learn from your mistakes, they're just going to keep coming back in because you're not looking at them. You don't want to look at them. This person will always blame everybody else and then wonder why they're going in the same relationship with the same, what they would call problem, with the same things happening, that cycle happening, because they're not taking responsibility. If you want to change, as I said, you can change right now. It's your way of thinking. It's your mindset. It's if you're going to let energies, sort of control how you're living your life and what you're thinking. Where is it? Just let me find it. So, it's called, it's all about boundaries for me and no longer letting anyone, exactly. Right, this one is called, will remind you to love who you are. Life is what you make of it. It's the fire in your soul. If you keep on hiding it from the world, you will never know. Who will see the best in you? Getting tingles on the top of my head. And stand by you through the storms. So keep on shining bright like the sun. Yeah, who will stand by you by the storms when the shit hits the fan and things go on and people are ridiculing all this stuff that goes on? The true people who are true friends or relationships or anything are the ones that stand by you through everything. Take your power back and shine your truth. Exactly. And don't stop for anyone. Some will stay, some will go. Always remember, they don't define who you are. I've always said that. Let them stay, let them go. Never forget, you gotta love who you are. And those who love you, those who love the real you are meant for you. Those who love the real you are meant for you. I think you were born to stand out. So what are you waiting for? When you realise you're one of a kind, because we are, no one can dim your light. Some will stay, some will go. Always remember, they don't define who you are. Let them stay. Let them go. Never forget. You got to love who you are. So I'm not going through it all, but that was on Fearless Soul. But it's a song called Love Who You Are. I don't know who it's by. I'll send it to Tapper. Incoming. Right, I've just sent it to Tapper. It's a really great song. Just listen to that if you're feeling a bit down. And people will come and go in your life. I mean, my best mate, people think they've got hundreds of friends. Some of your really close friends you can count on your fingers. Thank you. And my best friend that I've been friends with for 20 odd years, we've never, ever fell out once. We've never had an argument, ever. And I said to her the other day, well, not the other day, a few weeks ago, I said to her, oh, I go on about all this stuff that people think are conspiracy because she's not into it. And I said, I bet you think I'm mad, don't you? And she said, yeah, but at the end of the day, I love you unconditionally. There's the difference. She knows I'm mad anyway, so it don't make no difference, but mad good, Put a link in, please. Good. Yeah, Tapper's just put the link in live chat. So that song is brilliant. I sent it to someone today to help them feel a bit better. I saw their brothers and sisters. They never stood by my side. Yeah, it can be family. It can be friends. It can be, all sorts of people. Especially when you're speaking out about stuff. Don't want to know. But I do believe the people who are who think they're getting karma all the time, it's just because they're not taking responsibility. So the universe just thinks that you're enjoying the shit that you're in, so it just keeps sending at you. Because you're not moving. So if you're not flowing, it's like, oh, they really like this shit. Oh, they really like it. Oh, send some more. You don't seem to be waking up to the fact of how they should be working it out, sort of thing, if anyone gets what I'm saying. People should be allowed to look into different things and have different views. Yeah, that's what I was saying today. And someone was going on the other day. It's like, we're all individual. We all learn differently. So we all will. I could look at something and someone in chat here now could look at it. We'd probably come up with two different ways of looking at it because, that's how it is. I may see something visually that someone didn't pick up and someone else might see something totally different. But then maybe discussing it ends up being the same thing anyway. It's because we use different language, we use different words to describe certain things, which sometimes means the same thing. That's why we all get all, hi, Jesus Christ in the building. I always say that when Jesus Christ comes in. But yeah, one of the videos I was looking into, this is just going to flow in and out of whatever, because I'm not even looking at what I've wrote like I never do, so we're learning to release, there's patterns coming in that people aren't releasing, and if you stay in them patterns and them cycles, you're always going to stay in that pattern cycle program and wonder why your life ain't going the way you want it to. Who did a chat today? Laura Eisenhower had a chat today, and there was Prime Disclosure had a good one, but Laura Eisenhower had one today, and it was just Laura. Can I just give a shout out to Laura Eisenhower because she cracks me up. I love Laura Eisenhower. She absolutely cracks me up. Yes, it is a bit of a venom. It's the mentality you are in. Yes, it is. Frequency you are broadcasting. Yes, it is. And the universe gives you what you expect. Yeah, manifest, which I'm going to be talking about in a minute. A lot of people get very offended or write you off if you have different ideas about things. Yeah. But yeah, Laura Eisenhower, shout out to Laura Eisenhower, because it wasn't on this video that she did, it was a few days ago. And, and sometimes she has little rants and she goes off on one and she just reminds me of me because she'll like start talking and then go off on one. It's like, blah, 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 and she's like, oh, sorry. And she does actually make me laugh. But it's like she said, when you're in the flow, you just go in the flow. You can't help it. You need to get it out. And that's what I've realised. I used to think that was bad on my part, but now I've realised it's not. It's just me. And when I have to go with it, I have to go with it. People just have to learn to love it. But she cracked me up the other day, and she cracked David Rodriguez up, who's on this video I'm shouting out today. And I can't remember who else was in the chat. I think it was, I'm not sure if it was a guy of True Report. I can't remember who she was talking to. But it was so funny. Bless her. She's so sweet and genuine. Laura Eisenhower. She's hilarious, but oh God, I was sat there the other day laughing my head off because she just reminds me of me when she's on a rant and she's like, oh, because sometimes she gets quite feisty. And I used to think that, yeah, Dark to Light, I used to think that I've got to be less feisty, I've got to be this and I've got to be that, because to be spiritual, you've got to be, no. Yeah, she's passionate like us all. Exactly. Thought, no, this is where there is, to me, there's certain bits in spirituality where I think a lot of things have changed and we expand, and I don't think it's about, like I said, all being kumbaya all the time. You've got to be your true authentic self. I've always been a bit feisty, as in not feisty trying to cause fights and stuff like that. I hardly been in any fights, do you know what I mean? I just mean Yeah, I've just always been a little bit like that. And when I'm really passionate about something, I feel I have to say something and like be like, I'm not gonna let someone squash that out of me, even if I pretend like, oh yeah, I'm not real. I'm like, ugh, especially since I got on YouTube. Yeah, powerful. To just be who you truly are. I can't suppress who I am, but a lot of people like everything's about suppression, and it like to suppress you. They like to think when they've got in a relationship with you, they try to suppress you. Um, they try to ground you down. I'm talking about people who are in narcissistic relationships. They don't want you to expand, because the more you expand, it's like they get left behind because they can't work out what it is they're supposed to be doing there. That they've not got on that path of trying to look at themselves, because that's what we're all doing. It's like they don't want you to be in front of them, when they're like hanging onto your coattails, even though you could guide them by just being the light. It's like, it's always that thing that they know better. They, that sort of thing. That sort of thing. Because you get, in these situations, like this person would always say, when I was a nursery nurse, it was like, well, what do you call it? A job? Oh, you don't do anything and all that. This person's job wasn't a higher up job anyway. I think even if you were a brain surgeon, this person wouldn't be happy with you having that job. They just think it wasn't a job. They're always projecting. And I've always said people like that, like I said before, anything they project on you, job wise, anything, oh, it's not this, is them not liking the job, hating themselves, but they just don't want to admit it. It's that big ego thing of they don't want to admit that they're not treating people right, they speak to people like crap, they're not happy within themselves, they're not happy with the job, they're not happy with their appearance, they're not happy with anything, because they're not being the true authentic self. They're trying to live up to people around them I would say, who are materialistic. It's always about what you look like, as in you've got to have a certain make of coat or a certain car. What's that? That's not important. If you've got a car, you've got a car. If it gets you from A to B, then it's doing its job, isn't it, at the end of the day? Johnny Rotten says anger is an energy, so it's up to us on how to... Yeah, and we do get triggered. We change and we grow, and some stand still and you outgrow them. Spiritual. Yeah, and they don't like it. They'll get there in the end, but they don't like it. So they'd rather stunt your growth than let you flourish like a flower, So, yeah, sorry, going back to Laura Eyes now, she just cracks me up. She just cracks me up, and you can tell she's a genuine person. Yeah, keeping up with the Joneses, I've never been like that. I can't be bothered. I'm not interested. I mean, Mum used to say years ago, oh, you need somebody with a good job. I mean, yes, we need money at the minute for certain things, but it's just how greedy you are at the end of the day. And I used to say to her, even though I think these jobs get quite decent money anyway, I said, Mum, I'm not bothered. I'd date a dustbin man at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? If I loved them and if they would treat me right, and you know what I mean? It's the more money they have, the more things people want. But yeah, it was just good what they were talking. Actually, what were they talking about? Oh, it's about, yeah, why David Rodriguez, the boxer, if you don't know, was saying why he's gone through what he's gone through to be where he is right now, because it's all about the now and how we help each other get through all this. Hi, Revel. Stepford wives. Yeah, who wants to be a Stepford wife? Oh my God. A relationship is a union, so you're helping each other, you're supporting each other. You're not giving all your power away. You're doing it together. I've never understood that, why people could be in relationships and they're not even friendly towards each other. It's like they fell out of love with each other. Were you actually in love with each other in the first place? Or was it just because what someone had? Or someone was giving you? Or, in that sense of materialism, because it's projected out there by celebrities all the time. Celebrities with fake ass relationships. I'm not saying all of them. People trying to live up to standards that they're never going to get to, because half of that's fake anyway. Oh, look at my cars, I've got another. Yeah, a lot of them rent the cars out and stuff. It's just setting, and then it gets people depressed because they're thinking that's what they should have. They should have this big, massive house that I said before has 50 million bathrooms in. You only use one. You probably just live in the kitchen area, big kitchen area with a seating area where you all congregate in there, and it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So they were talking. Actually, Tapper's just probably put it in. Yeah, Tapper's just put it in because it was from today's anyway, so it's easy to find. This isn't the one that cracked me up. She just does crack me up. She really does crack me up. Yeah, it was. I think it was Dark to Light episode with, is it guest Andrew Bartis or something? I think it was. Some can, yeah, some can suck your energy because they're energy sucking vampires. It gives them something, feeding off you. When you're upset and you're feeling down, it makes them feel a bit higher in themselves, which is a bit of a shit way to do it. So 17 hours ago, I go in at 17 hours ago. 17 from, look at that, 17 hours ago, right? 17. And there was 17 in the chat before. So let me just, it's David Rodriguez. And he's on his path now.
I'm excited about today, man. We've been working on this for months. We've been working on this for months now, and finally we got it going. This is our first show, so excuse us, everybody. We got some hiccups or we messed up a little bit here and there. This is our first show. We had a practice run, but now here we go. We're live, and we have our first guest. And this guest I'm really excited about, Laura. You told me a little about him about a few weeks ago. We were going back and forth with...
And a traumatician, because he's really focusing in on trauma. But should I read his bio?
Oh, yeah, he's been on before. It's a guy who does traumatician because people let things affect them when it comes into trauma, when you're realising it is a lesson, like what I was saying before. And this guy's been on before. He's really good the way he talks about things. So just play a little bit of it.
Now?
I mean, we can get into that, but I think that the important thing is...
Somebody else, a practitioner. And it was incredibly accurate. And I have done conferences with him, done interviews. I'm not here to, one of the things that...
You might find it very interesting.
Level of wisdom.
Dark to Light, Laura and I came together with the idea to help people process and get through and guide them through this shift of consciousness happening on our planet right now with our own testimonies and our knowledge that we've acquired over the, for me, the last 20 years of me being awake. And a lot of people have questions for me.
I live at number 6 as well.
And I do have a lot of answers. And the only way I can do that is through a show like this being assisted by Laura Eisenhower. And I'm using my personal experiences of going through such dark times in my life with my boxing career, being knifed in the throat, almost dying twice, flatlining twice in 2011.
It's a good
coming
series.
Back to a world that just blew up on me with my boxing career. The trials and tribulations that I went through becoming a heavyweight contender.
And what's beautiful about Chris, the ex-boxer, is he's just coming into certain stuff. He was on someone's show the other day and they were all talking about Q, and I can't remember who it was, and he was realising a few more things with that. And it's beautiful because you're seeing his journey of what he started, but he's realising other things, there's beyond other things and stuff like that. And it's beautiful watching him when he's dead, like, really? And he's like, yeah, I resonate with that. And yeah, this is really good. So it's a really good series if you've not seen it.
Knowledge on the spiritual and political realm of this planet. I want to help and assist others and guide them through this transition. All I ask is for people to open their mind, and the main thing is to open your mind and try to absorb what we're...
This is what I've been saying. The main thing is to open your mind, because all this is to do with the mindset and your mindset and how you can change it. But to open your mind to what people are saying. Don't poo-hoo everything because it sounds a bit mad or a bit out there or a bit crazy, especially if you're not into the realms of different dimensions, or you're just starting to get into it, or there could be ETs and you've never really thought about that before, and energies and all this stuff that's going about. You just need to open your mind and listen. You don't have to just listen and see if anything resonates with you, if it's making you think, do you know what, I think there's something in this, because that is normally what tells you the truth. Hi, TJ's Woodworking Shop, not seen you for ages. Hi, beautiful, how are you, hon? Yeah, awesome channel, I love it. Oh, thank you, I've not seen you comment in chat for ages, but yeah, it's great channel.
Try to digest what we're going to give you. You're going to see we're going to bring on a lot of different spiritual teachers, scholars, academics. I mean,
I would so love to have a round table, like I'll be in a round table with Laura Eisenhower. She just makes me laugh. She's just so funny. I don't even know if she knows she's just is funny. One of the videos, if you look back a bit ago when she was doing a round table with David, and I can't remember who it was just hilarious.
We're going to be full of all kinds of guests. I'm excited about every single one of our guests. The guests that we have for the I just know the first 3 shows. Okay, so I just know the first 3 shows.
Yeah, that thing when they say all due respect to the 33rd degree Masons are not all evil. No, they're not. Not everyone's evil, and I think it's above that. And it's like I said, there's Masons and there's you know, I've said before, there's white people who are good, white people who are bad, black people who are good, black people who are bad, Jews who are good, Jews who are bad, blah, 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 blah. It's all, you know, if there's ETs out there, there's good and bad. You know what I mean? It's the energy they're using, you know, within themselves. So.
But the first guest today, it's Andrew Bartzis, right? Or Barty, the celebrity.
Let me get him on.
Trials and Tribulations.
Passion, transparency, openness, and really supporting one another in some of the struggles.
Ah, you're back.
Because one person asks a question, it could be a question that a lot of people have. And so with all the diverse things that are going to come forward with what people have to share about their own personal story, there's going to be a lot of people that relate on some level. So it's going to light up a lot. And
this is why people are sharing stuff. And, you know, I'll talk about stuff and then I'll share people's videos, what they're talking about. Because we're all sharing experiences, because everything is about experiences.
Activate a lot, help clear a lot. And this is really what it's going to take. And we had that epiphany together, just like, boom, you know, this is so important right now. And this is why, yeah, I mean, this is a great guest to start off with because he works in this. So when we introduce him, I'll read the rest of his bio. But just wanted to give, some tidbits about that and our intention for the show. And and just also just maybe some breaking info,
Hi,
you just put
Jackie.
out live. What just happened? You just talked to a friend who, I don't know.
Hang on. Find him, get him in.
They're getting rid of cash right now.
No.
Is there things you don't want to know about people that come to you? You receive them that you're like, okay, I didn't ask for that.
So I learned a long time ago to not be a psychic brat.
Okay.
So I can turn the skill on and off, but technically it's always on.
Verse encompasses.
Talking about the Akashic records.
Also known as the Galactic Historian, he's able to read and interpret individual, cultural, global, and galactic histories, past, present, and future, with everyone who's
just a shout out to TJ's Woodworking Shop. Tapper's just put it in chat if anyone's interested.
eager to learn. Just as if you would look through a clear glass of pure water, Andrew can read the Akashic records while in a fully conscious state. By bringing forth the power of contract revocations, he helps individuals reclaim their sovereignty, free will, and find their way to peace, joy, and happiness. And awesome. So, I mean, self-knowledge, self-awareness is so critical. So thank you. And here's an introduction because I know you, but yeah, you guys are meeting for the first time. So that's pretty good.
Is there any way later on in the show that you'd be able to maybe read my Akashic records a little bit? Oh, beautiful.
And he does read his Akashic
That's
records.
cool.
And it was...
And yeah, I feel such a affinity towards, I mean, it's beyond that because, universal.
And when he did it, you saw Laura Eisenhower's face light up. She was just like, oh, wow. And we were talking about David. It was really good.
Truths create resonance. Resonance with truth creates activation and helps to get us out of
This is what I'm saying. Truth resonates, and resonations. What did she just say then? Yeah, hang on.
fog, get us out of the towards. I mean, it's beyond that because universal truths create resonance. Resonance with truth creates activation and helps to get us out of the fog, get us out of the haze, the confusion, and the social engineering and other things thinking for us, and how the AI is a component that wishes to assimilate what we can't.
Well, like I said, I'm not playing all of that. Go and check it out because there's another bit of a video I want to show you and go through. But yeah, hail yourself. That's right. Bit of venom. It's, yeah, hail yourself. Don't hail anybody else. You know, don't hail anybody else. Because we are spiritual beings having a temporary human experience. And like I'm saying, with energies, yeah, activation, that's why it's good to get triggered sometimes. This energy stuff is, like I said, because of what's going on in the world right now, you need to be very aware of your energy. Hi, Red Eye Jedi, your energy and what people around you energy is residing in. That's why I've said before, if there's friends playing up at the minute and you're feeling a bit off, it doesn't mean you have to unfriend them, but maybe, I mean, in lockdown, you've not been really around anyone, so it might have been good to not be around people at the minute with what's going on, if you get what I'm saying, because I think there'd have been more people arguing and going on themselves, but people are starting to learn tidbits of truth at the minute. So when we are slowly coming together, it's like, we're not all in this big, like, massive argument about it all. But like I said about relationships and stuff like that, it's in all areas of your life. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to hone into our energies and thinking, right, instead of getting angry, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to breathe and I'm going to think, right, where's this anger coming from? It's not because I'm mad at that person for blah blah blah. It's like, why am I mad at this person? What's reflecting back to me? Why am I mad? Why am I feeling this? Maybe if I just go and take 10 minutes out, maybe that will pass and I'll just be thinking, what was that all about? Why was I getting myself so wound up? And like I said, you can be around people that are constantly in that negative energy. I know you'll have friends out there or family where it doesn't matter what you say, it's always negative. And it's that, and it, you know, because it starts to bring you down and you're like, oh my God, like this is so negative, you know. I just can't stay in this energy. But then when you're around people that are really, you know, it doesn't mean they're really positive, but they're quite fun to be with, and all that lifts you back up again. So ride the great awakening wave. Exactly. So this is why I'm saying, be careful. Hi, Christian Thompson. Be careful. Was it you? I can't remember. Was it you, Thompson, who did a donation the other day? Thank you very much. Can't remember. I'm getting confused. Especially in this time now, because of the news putting so much crap out and they want everyone in a lower frequency with what's going on and people are getting in the fear mode. It's bringing, thank you, Christian, thank you very much. They're putting people in a lower frequency and it does affect you. You know, it does affect you. And we're just learning to release it and not to get caught up in those energies, just sitting maybe between it and thinking, right, I feel a bit like this, but you've got to think. Like the other day, when I was getting that bit of a thing going on with somebody going on at me on YouTube in a community. Now, what they were saying, if someone's saying something about you and you don't like it, you know, you get it at school, you get it everywhere. People not liking you because you're doing something, and or you know, for many reasons they don't like you and they want to say things or spread rumors or blah blah blah. It can affect you sometimes if you stay in it because you start thinking about it. It might start upsetting you, whatever it is, and then it brings your frequency down and your vibration. And then you might get mad, and then you might be snapping at someone in the household because you're in that energy, and you're not in a good energy, so you're snapping at someone else in the house. You know, you then go and stump your toe because you're not really looking what you're doing. And that day carries on like that. And then because that day is going a bit crap, you just don't feel good. And then depending on the next day, if you're still thinking about what was said or what someone said, who's saying what you are, that day goes on again till you sort of come out on it and forget about it and then you move forward. So what I'm trying to say is, as I've said before, no one defines who you are. You know you and you know your truth. So it doesn't matter what anyone else is saying. You know you. So all you have to do is go, and it's gone, and move on, and just don't think about what the people say. I can get annoyed for a day, and I'll ring people and go blah 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 blah, and I've got it off my chest. But I'm not the sort of person who will sit in it for a couple of days or sit in it for a week a month, like I said, a year, 10 years. Some people do that with certain, I'm not saying about that situation, I'm just saying certain situations, people will just never, they'll just harness that like anger, and it gets you absolutely nowhere. Like I said, it builds up and builds up with all these blocks of different things that people are saying and doing, and it builds all your body up, and then, you know, you probably feel like you can't breathe, you start getting anxiety, you're getting depressed and everything, and you're not releasing all this energy, and then, like I said, it gets in your body, it turns into a disease because you're in dis-ease with people and things and what's being said, when you should just not take any notice of what anyone's saying and just carry on with your life. Because, yeah, return back to nature, exactly. Best thing to do when you're feeling like that is just to think, I'm just going to go and sit outside for 10 minutes and just sit with nature and breathe it all in. Hi, Carol. Because it does you no good in the long run. My mum's a bit of a thinker. I'm not, and she'll always be like, "Oh, well, I was just thinking, and I was thinking if you did this, and she's always thinking about the future. I'm like, Mum, just don't think, just don't think about it, and it's not going to happen. Stop speaking it into the ether, you know. Just don't put it out there. Just don't think anything. Think something good." And like I said, there's some people that just love being in that energy. They love being in the drama. They love being acting like a victim, even though they'll say it's other people, acting like a victim all the time. Indeed, Lois, Mother Earth misses us. Yes. And that's why I'm saying you need to build your strength up in your mindset. Like I said, to detach from what people are saying or what you're seeing. Like I said, there's lots of things that are coming out, and they're going to be coming out fast and thick, and people aren't going to like it. Like I said, you could be aware of it, but you don't have to stay in it. You don't have to constantly keep looking at it, because this is why everybody's saying on YouTube, and that most people are saying, especially in the realms where people are on the path, is, you know, we're here to help people. We're all saying the same thing at the minute, if you're looking about. We're all trying to get people to realise what to stay away from, how to harness your own energy and keep it, and stop letting people siphon your energy off you, and depleting you. Because, you know, when you're thinking about something, say someone said something and it's upset you, and you keep thinking about it all day, you feel like crap. You normally might go to bed early, and you can literally feel the energy draining out your body just because of what somebody said, or you know what I mean, don't you? I'm sure all of you in chat feel like that when you've been in that, yeah, energy vampires, when you've been in that, you know, someone's constantly going on, or you're thinking too much of it because you're letting it affect you. Hi, Rachel, but you should just know your own truth. You know your own truth, and you know you're not this, that, and the other. Doesn't matter what other people say, because they'll move on to the next person anyway. Like I said, it's just because they're not happy within themselves. And there's a lot of, hi Tatted T, there's a lot of people out there that don't like to see other people have success. They don't like to see other people expanding, because they're not, and they don't understand. They don't like to see other people expanding. But that's what we're here to do, expand. The elves called that daily vibe energy look. If you wake up with bad luck, embrace it and tune yourself to it. Don't be afraid of bad luck. It's got vibes and archetypes just like other looks. Well, you just change your mindset. If something starts off a bit crappy in the morning, you just switch it. I always say, go and do put some good ass music on, get yourself in a better mood. I'm sat in my craft room now. Stop watching things that put you in a bad mood. Stop watching the TV. Stop watching the news. Chuck your TV out. You know, there's always something there you can be doing or tap into, or even if it's 10 minutes, meditate, whatever it is, to take your mind off something, or stop focusing on something mainly. This is what I was saying about the person the other day. If they were less focusing on me for whatever reason they are doing, and getting on with their own life, and focusing on what they're doing of helping people, never mind what other people are doing. It's not about, I'm not focusing on other people, what they're doing. I'm trying to focus on what I'm trying to put out and what I'm trying to do. Because if I was focusing too much on other people, I'm not going to be doing what I want to do. You know, worrying about what other people are thinking or doing. But I'm just going to play something, I don't know where this is going now, from, You know, we're all coming from traumas. We're all coming from traumas. So I'm just going to play something from Wayne Dyer because it just popped up about manifestation, because I think it was Mark in chat earlier on about manifestation. And he even says about The Secret. When the book came out, The Secret, years ago, I don't even know when it came out. You know, I had it, loads of people had it, and then they had the source or whatever, blah, blah, blah. They forget to mention in that book, they don't tell, they didn't put the whole thing in there. And then people go, don't work, you know. I imagined, you know, I visualised and I put it out and nothing happened. That's because you haven't put a frequency to it. You visualised, you put your intent out there, but you actually haven't felt like it's already here in the vibration of joy, like how you feel with whatever you wanted, how you feel, what it would be like when you had that thing, like it's already here. Oh, Abraham Hicks. I don't mind Abraham Hicks, you know, but because what's that saying? Your subconscious, is it right? Your subconscious doesn't really know what's reality and what's not. So if you're putting a sigil can amplify. Yes, it can. I've talked about sigils ages ago. You make your own sigils. Talk about that another time. But yes, if you're imagining in something in your mind's eye, it thinks it's real anyway. But if you're putting the actual feeling to it, it starts coming in. But it never comes in the way you expect. I've never experienced it coming in the exact way I've expected it to. Hi, is it Canron? So I'm just going to play a bit of Wayne Dyer because it's funny how it just popped up as in what I was going to talk about. And I thought, well, he explains it quite well. So I'm just going to play a little bit of it and then do a rundown because I quite like doing these. And Wayne Dyer is someone, my dad, Waxman, who comes in chat now and again, did have a book on years ago. And he's the guy who's always had orbs in pictures. And I don't know if anyone saw my orbs before. I don't know if I put 2 or 3 videos up doing the singing thing where they come in. And if I had different lighting in my back room that I used to when we've all seen orbs coming when I've been on live, but not in this lighting. I've just put that out as a frequency and the orbs were there. I don't know if anyone checked the orbs out before, if anyone saw the orbs coming in when I was doing me whatever I was doing. So let me go check. Right, so Wayne Dyer. I think most of you have heard of Wayne Dyer. I'd be quite surprised if you haven't, but if you haven't, you can check this one out. The Art of Manifestation. I just thought he did a beautiful bit at the beginning. Yeah, shout out to Anon Waxman. Yeah. Hi, Miss England Dolls. Who's that? Can't see. Hi, King. So, yeah, let me just go back to the beginning.
That is real.
Just going to have a little listen.
That nothing dies.
Right.
Almost as if it didn't happen.
So he's talking about his mum dying 2 days ago. This was 7 years ago, by the way. That number again. 7 years ago. With 2 million views on it. But just what he's saying, because we are all energy and we go on. Just in a different form. So I'll just play this a minute and just listen to a little bit of it. Tell me if you can hear it.
They have an awareness within them that nothing dies. That everything that materializes, of course, changes form. But there is something. My teacher in India, his name was Swami Muktananda. Many of you have read. And he was asked the question, what is real, Master? What is real? And Muktananda said, that is real.
Hi, Maria. Oh.
Which never changes. Everything else is illusion. So I've been looking at, I've been thinking about Muktananda and thinking about Dr. Maslow, who passed away.
Did you hear that?
7th of, he was asked the question, what is real, Master? What is real? And Muktananda said, that is real, which never changes.
That is real. That never changes. Right, well, my take on that is I may have changed in appearance, as in, most of you know, I've had my hair dreaded at the beginning of this year. Clothing might have changed. Makeup, not really. I've always had cat's eyes on and stuff like that. Yeah, his voice is calming. Your body changes as he goes through. That's why I love this chat, because it's just so easy to think, yes, I get it. That's why I bring different videos to you. Your body changes from being a baby to being an infant to being a teenager to being a young adult to a middle-aged adult to older and older. Your body changes, things happen, he jokes about it. But the soul inside stays the same. Energy, frequency, vibration, yes. Nikola Tesla. Oh, we've got something to show you on Nikola Tesla. Someone please remind me in a bit. Yeah, frequency, energy, frequency, and vibration. It's the energy that you're in, vibrating at whatever frequency it is. I'd like to say we're all trying to go to a higher frequency, vibrating at a higher frequency. That's where we want to go. But our bodies change, we get older, we get wrinkles, we get lines, the blah, 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 blah. But something that is real never changes. Me, who I am as a me inside, my true essence, and the way I've sort of always wanted things to be in the world, and the way I am, that's never changed. Like I said, you can go back to my first YouTube when I had short hair. Yes, I look very different throughout the years that I've been on YouTube. I don't even know how long I've been on. 3 years, 4 years, I haven't got a clue. And that's why I'm not monetized on here either. I'm not interested. I like to come to talk to you all and just do what I do. But I've changed in appearance, in different clothing, different things like that, trying to express the way I feel till I found the true self, authentic self. That's what we're all doing. But I've never changed in how I'm trying to be and what I'm trying to put out, if anyone gets what I'm saying. And a lot of people know that, as I've said before, that we're in at the beginning of, I still have my little rants, I calm down a little bit, but yeah, I love your transformation. Thank you, Cliff. And a lot of people can see my transformation. I'm a transformation within myself. I'm a bit calmer than I used to be. There is a transformation with the outside of changing hair and stuff, but we are all doing. Your soul has stayed the same. Thank you, Rachel. And but all this is about alchemy. It's all about the transformation within, as in, even that transformation within is still me. It's still the same me. 33 in chat. But it's just going to be a better me, still working on it. But the things that I think about for humanity and what I'd like to see in the world and all that stuff has never, ever changed. Yes, we are infinite. Yes, and that's what Wayne Dyer is about to say, awareness, having a human experience. Well, the way I like the way he says it is we are spiritual beings having a temporary human experience. That's why I said this morning, we're not trying to be spiritual. We already are spiritual. We were born spiritual. We're spiritual beings having a temporary human experience. So that's why I say, people like the other day going on, the spiritual community thinks she's being spiritual. Doesn't mean you're spiritual just because you've got, you've changed your hair and you've got dreadlocks and you wear certain clothes. No, I was spiritual the day I came here. You just get distracted from it. So I don't ride with that at all. Touch Crackly, it's probably the room that I'm in. So we'll just listen to how he explains it, because I love it. Transformation of the Soul, or in Thelma, The Dark Night of the Soul. Yeah.
Everything else is illusion. So I've been looking at, I've been thinking about Muktananda and thinking about Dr. Maslow, who passed away on the 7th of June, 1970.
7th.
That was the same day that I was walking across the stage in Detroit at Cobo Hall, receiving my PhD.
Yeah, we all come from spirit and go back to spirit.
Hour. It was as if he had said to me, I've explained this whole idea of self-actualization to the academic world. Now you explain it to the cab drivers and the school teachers and the nurses and the yoga students and everyone else. This whole idea that there is a higher place where each of us can reach right here while we're here. And I've been thinking about all of this since my mom left. And there's pictures of my mom all over my apartment on Maui. I have pictures of her on the wall when she was 10 years old in 1926. And another picture of her reading a poem that she wrote when she was 12
He's talking about manifestation, but he's just talking about when his mum passed. You'll hear it.
years old in 1928 about the election that year. Any of you remember the election that year?
Yeah, I'll just go past that bit, actually.
Being on my lap on her 75th birthday, that we believe is who we are.
Hang on.
The pictures, and I say, which one of them is
Talking about his pictures of his mum from when she was younger to when she's older, do we look at them pictures like that's who we are? Because we change with age, obviously on the outside.
my mother? Was she that 10-year-old? According to Muktananda, that is real, which never changes, and all of us are here in bodies that we believe is who we are. We're totally convinced of it. I was in a 21-year-old body, and I can't find any part of it anywhere on the planet.
Hi, Gus.
But while I was in it, I was absolutely convinced that this is who I am. And then I moved into another body, and another body, and another body. And the same is true for each and every one of us here, that there is some part of us that is infinite, that is the soul,
Yeah.
that is the spirit. It makes no difference what you call it. Many of you know that I wrote a book about 7 years ago after living the Tao Te Ching for a full year. It's called Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life. And I took
Change your thoughts, change your life. If you can't change your thoughts, you're not going to change your life. You can't change your life without changing your thought pattern. You know, like I said before, if you can't look at certain things, release certain things and things that you think people have said to you, blah, 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 you're never going to change because you're just residing in that energy of those old thoughts and ways. Do I think the conspiracy theories about Hollywood are true? Yes, I do. Not that this is about that, but yeah, I do. When you spend time in nature, it connects you to everything and you forget yourself. You do. You do. That's why nature is one of the best forms of medicine. A lot of things do that. Nature does it. Anything that you love, like I said, when I'm in my art, I get lost in it. I'm just connecting. I believe I'm connecting to source. Like, remember the blue painting I did? And I get lost in my artwork. And someone else brought that up today and I've got to find it. Someone else said that. Did you watch the interview with Robert Kennedy when someone asked on the comments, oh, to touch his nose? Yes, I did. That was, yeah.
each of the 81 verses of the Tao Te Ching, and I took a full year. I began on January the 1st, 2005, and I read verse 1. And I would take 4.5 days, 4 days to contemplate it, think about it, meditate on it, try to understand it. And then in the half day that I had, I would look at a painting of Lao Tzu from 2,500 years ago. And someone had channeled this painting and sent it to me from from my radio show. And I don't do any writing now without him looking at it. And I just sort of gaze at this drawing that this person imagined Lao Tzu to be. And it speaks to me. And I would write an essay. The Tao Te Ching, some call it the wisest book ever written. Someone once sent me a copy of a book called Jesus and Lao Tzu. And on the left-hand side of the page were all the sayings of Lao Tzu. And on the right-hand side of the page were all the sayings of Jesus that mirrored what Lao Tzu had said 500 years before his birth. Now, I'm not saying Jesus was plagiarizing, but I am saying there are eternal truths. And these eternal truths come to me directly out of the Tao. And I did this for each of the 81 verses of the Tao.
Oh, hi,
The
Jam. I
opening
call you
line
Jam.
of the Tao Te Ching says, the Tao that can be named is not the Tao. As soon as you try to define this invisibleness that is within each and every one of us, that keeps occupying these new bodies all the time, while the body continues to change, who we are is infinite. So I wrote a few words out about what I think of as the soul. Let me just share them with you. The ideal of the soul, this part of you that is never changing, this part of you that is infinite. And that word infinite is a very important word to think about because it's the opposite of finite. Finite means something begins and ends. If it didn't end any place or didn't begin any place, we wouldn't be able to call it finite. We would say it is always continuing. The
Not
minute that
finite,
stops, the minute
infinite.
we have a form to it, the
Infinite.
minute we
I can't
place
say it.
anything on it that is associated with this physical corporeal world that we all live in, it moves from the infinite to the finite. So to try to define that which is infinite with a brain or a mind that is finite is an impossibility. Lao Tzu knew this and understood this. It's why meditation is such an important part of the process of...
Yeah, because you can't. Hang
So to
on.
try to define that which is infinite with a brain or a mind that is finite is an impossibility. Lao
Because
Tzu
you're always
knew this and
expanding.
understood this. It's why meditation is such an important part of the process of coming to our highest self, coming to know who we are. It's the place where there are no beginnings. Herman Melville once said that God's one and only voice is silence. Is silent.
Silence
It's the
is
one place where there's
golden.
nothing finite there. And Blaise Pascal, the famous French philosopher and scientist, once said that all of man's troubles
Yeah, the doubt. I
stem
can't
from
say it.
his
Yeah.
inability to sit quietly in a
Many
room
different names for it.
alone. And most of us just aren't comfortable with this because we have come to believe and trust in the evidence for who we are is on the basis of that which we can touch and see and feel and smell, what our five senses tell us. But our five senses lie to us. William Blake pointed that out beautifully in one of his poems back in
This is why I said it. I said to someone today, it's funny how some people in these times of lockdown cannot sit with themselves. You know, they're like, you know, all the, I know it's coming back now, but all like the entertainment, you know, they're going out watching football, drinking, whatever. And they've had to stay in. And it's a bit like going within. And they've had to stay around people that maybe they're not all around with all the time. Can't even sit with themselves. They don't even know what they enjoy. Like, what do I do when I'm not doing those sort of things that distract you? Like, I'm not happy because I'm not out doing that. And it's like, just go within. You can sit with yourself in contemplation, in meditation, and just be really relaxed and have that quiet time and just be there. And it's just like, can't even explain what that feeling is when you are just sat there with me, myself, and I, source. It's just, you can sit there with a big grin on your face because you're just feeling all that source energy, and it's just like a beautiful thing. I know you'll know what I mean if you feel that, but we are the universe, our senses, what gives us life to understand our well-beings. We are distracted from phones, TVs, past three. Of course it is, and that's why we've all been distracted with all those shiny little things like a magpie, getting distracted by shiny things when really we should be going within and tuning into ourselves, which a lot of us are doing. But there's a lot of people that they don't know how to do that because they just think what's going to calm them down is, what's going to fulfill them is that stuff on the outside, like I call it 3D materialistic stuff, when you don't actually need anything, but some people just cannot sit with themselves. The white light is a demon, shiny thing. Guess it depends what white light. I think there's a false light, but I don't always think it's white light. I think other entity could imitate white light. I see white light with the orbs, but it's not bad because it's not that feeling of anything scary. So, that sort of thing.
1977. He said to see the world.
Yeah, what is it? The spirit is willing, the flesh is weak. Yeah.
In a grain of sand. And a heaven in a wildflower. To hold eternity in the palm of your hand.
I don't get what you're saying, Jess.
And infinity in an hour. We are all led to believe a lie. When we see with, not through the eye, which was born in a night, to perish in a night, while the soul slept in beams of light. We are all infinite beings in a temporary human experience. I've said it over and over again whenever people ask me what's my very favorite quote, my very favorite observation. It came from Pierre Teilhard, the French priest who was excommunicated from the Catholic Church for his outrageous ideas. He said that we're not here as human beings.
Yeah, that in the beginning there was sound, and that sound was love. What came after sound? What came after sound? What came after sound? Light. So when I was doing my orbs before, I was making a sound. And then you saw the little like plasma light, photonic light, whatever you want to call it. Quite glowy when I'm sort of making a sound, frequency. Yeah, Christ, as in with a kicking K. Like Heart of the Crystals, or whatever it's called. Yeah, so,
Having a spiritual experience. It's the other way around. We are all infinite spiritual beings having a temporary human experience. And coming to a place where we live our lives from that infinite place and beginning to know our soul. It's one of the reasons why I accepted an invitation to come here. I do yoga myself 5-6 times a week. I know the significance of it for me in my own body and my own health, my own life, my own emotional state. I know that when I meditate, I'm better. I know that when I do yoga, I'm healed. And
emotional state. You get in a state when you get emotional. Hi, John Fo, how are you? Oh, good, you're having a listen while you work. Thank you. You get in a state, an emotional state. You get yourself in a state with emotions that you stay in. Like I've said, you can be in the emotions, but you've got to learn to come out of it and not reside in it all the time. Because that turns into, you know, I mean, a joyous emotion is joyful, but if you're staying in a lower emotion that's not making you happy, you end up in a state, in a mind state.
And so I came. So getting to know the soul, the spirit, and not identifying ourselves on the basis of our physical senses. It's the essence of my newest book, which is a PBS special called Wishes Fulfilled. It's the whole message behind all of it is to really come up with a specific way to come in contact with this infinite part of ourselves. Now remember, if it's infinite, it doesn't stop any place.
Because we're constantly expanding. We're constantly moving. We're constantly flowing. You can't stay stagnant. It's like this whole movement now with the Great Awakening. I've said before, there's people too caught up in the New World Order. Well, most of us know about the New World Order. Yes, some people came across it years ago, but they still harp on about it now and go, I can't see this coming in as anything good. It's got to be the same side of the coin. Why does it have to be? Why do we have to stay in that energy all the time? Why can't we expand our thinking and think actually? And this is why I've said before, it's all going to be seen and it's all got to be seen because that's how we got ourselves in this situation in the first place of things being covered up because people didn't want to look. They didn't want to look at themselves, what they're a part of, what they may have been a part of, what they're actually doing. They want to pull, yeah, I think so, yeah. The wool over people's eyes. They want to cover everything up so no one sees anything, so everything carries on the way it has done, century after century, and that's why everyone's getting up, speaking out in whatever they're speaking out in the truth. But people will still sit there and say, I don't want to look at the dark. Well, you're going to have to. Yeah. You know what I mean? As I've said before. But in all that truth, there's not nice stuff, and you've got to learn to come out of the energies of what you're seeing and what you're hearing and not get stuck in all the, like I keep saying, the news and all that's going on. Yeah, it's a mind virus. That virus they've put out there and what they harp on about on the mainstream media is a mind virus. They say something, everyone does as they say. No one can think for themselves. You know, all the stuff they're going on about the masks and all that, you've got to start wearing them on the buses. Well, it's no good now, is it? That should have been done at the beginning. But the bus drivers aren't wearing masks. Loads of silly things that just think, yeah, well, that doesn't make sense. We all know that there's nurses and things, people sending in swabs that are coming back positive when there's nothing on them. I don't know if it was the Venezuela, not the some African, was it president? I can't remember. Who put in a fruit swab. That came back positive. It was a fruit swab under a name. He's dead now, apparently. So I heard. So that's not all making sense. It's all raising your vibrations.
Doesn't start any place. That's by definition infinite. So if something doesn't start and doesn't stop, what is it doing?
Hi, Matt.
It has to be expanding, doesn't it? The minute it stops expanding,
you can't have growth within yourself
finite.
or anywhere else in this world to go to a new world, what everyone's talking about, without expansion. We know we don't use that much percent of our brains. Well, you know, we've been dumbed down and all that stuff, but you can't have new creative ideas if you're constantly not expanding. You're not growing if you're not expanding. You know, when a plant is a seed, it's always expanding and growing. Otherwise, it's never going to see the light, is it? It's never going to blossom into its being a beautiful whatever plant it is or flower. It's never gonna bloom. It's never gonna have its full purpose I'm just talking about a plant, but you know, its full purpose of what it was meant to turn into. Just like I say, we are like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. We've gone along as caterpillars. We've gone in the chrysalis. I've always talked about that. A lot of people talk about it as a, you know, metaphor. We've been in the dark for a very long time. We didn't think we were going to turn into anything else because we've been kept in the dark. That caterpillar never knew it was going to turn into a butterfly. I've actually got a book on a butterfly. And then all of a sudden they come out the dark. You know, the chrysalis comes off like the veil and they're like this gorgeous butterfly, rising, soaring, expanding, can see things from a higher perspective. You know, can leave all that shit behind because it can go and fly off. But it's turned into this beautiful other form that I never ever thought it could be. And in this book that I've got about a caterpillar, I've shown it before, I can't remember who it was by, and it was from America. There was all these caterpillars, like you could look at as sheep today, and all these caterpillars are following all these other caterpillars, and they're all making this big tower up to the sky, and they're all crawling all over each other. I can't remember what the book's called, but it goes something like this. Hi, Jerry, and they're all crawling up to the top, but they don't know what they're crawling up to the top for because actually it's not really going anywhere until these two little caterpillars decide to come down. And they don't know what's going on, and they go off, and I think they just have this intuitive thing to go up a tree and just make the chrysalis, and then they both come out as these beautiful butterflies, while all the others are still there, trying to reach for something that's not there, but they're all following each other, but they don't really know what's actually going on. I'm going to paint it. I had an elephant hawk moth. Oh, did you? Yeah, they're quite strange looking, them, aren't they? But yeah.
We're no longer talking about the soul. We're talking about what Blake said. We've become, we see with, not through our eyes. So here's what I jotted down. The ideal of the soul, the thing that it asks for, is neither knowledge, nor light, nor happiness. The ideal of the soul is space, immensity. The one thing it needs, more than anything else, is to be free to expand and to reach out and to embrace the infinite. Yet the ideal of the soul is infinity because...
And that's why I always see us from the Creator, being an expression of the Creator, wanted to have experiences in many different ways because that's expansion. It'd be pretty boring and pretty stagnant if it was just one way. You know?
That's what the soul is. It is miserable when it is circumscribed or restricted in any way.
And this was trying to say before about relationships with narcissists. If you're restricted in any way, it crushes you. It makes you feel sad because we're supposed to expand. We're supposed to grow, expand, learn about ourselves. Try and be the better, person we can be. Go into our higher self. Expansion all the time. And then expansion of that, because it goes on and on and on.
Now, I have 8 children, 6 beautiful daughters and 2 sons. And one of the things that I know...
Oh, thank you for shouting that out because that's very good because I've had this argument with somebody. Supreme Court just gave half of Oklahoma back to the Native American Indians. Brilliant. Boom shalaka, let me write that down because that is quite relevant for a conversation I had the other day. Very good. And who's in Supreme Court now? Because it ain't that bitch, is it? So, who's in Supreme Court? Who did they not want to get in? That's brilliant news. Whoop, whoop. That's great. That's a fabulous.
I used to say that before I had children, I had 8 theories about how to raise children. And now I have 8 children and no theories. All right? But one of the things I know about children is that no one likes being told what to do. And this isn't just children, this is all of us. One of my favorite songs is a song from when I was back in high school.
Well, I'm assuming it's true. I don't think it's a rat trick because who's in Supreme Court now? They got rid of Ginsburg and all that, and they were trying to put the right people in, weren't they? So, you know, thank you. Tappers put it in chat. Yeah, what he's saying there about nobody likes to be told what to do. As a child, you don't like to be told what to do. Like my Finn at 5 hates being told what to do. And sometimes it makes you dead like, oh my God, but it's because our soul inside is free to expand. We are free. And we should be expanding. When someone is telling you what to do, telling you what you are, it's not letting someone expand. And we all do it.
Oh, give me land, lots of land, and the starry skies above.
Don't fence me in.
Boy, you know it.
Don't fence me
Don't
in.
fence me in. Don't restrict me. Don't put boundaries on me. Don't tell me what I can do and what I can't do. Don't tell me how to be there. Don't tell me what to wear, what to think. Don't tell me how to do yoga. Don't tell me. I don't want to be told. This is the soul speaking, always. The soul is constant.
You know, if you're being suppressed, and this is why a lot of people are talking out and want to speak the truth, it will make you ill. It will make you sad. You will die an early death being suppressed. That's why I think we all die a lot early these days, because we have been suppressed through time. We have been suppressed. We're always being told what to do through society, telling us what we should and shouldn't be doing. If you're not hurting anyone, you're coming from good intentions. We're always being told what to do, what to think. Like we can't be, we can't think for ourselves. We're not sovereign beings. Well, we are. And that's why people get angry. When they're being told what to do, and when you're in a job where, that's why a lot of people hate the jobs. You're in a job where you're only getting, I don't know, what is it, 2 holidays a year, 2 weeks a year. What? You're being told when you can have them holidays. At school, it's like you're told when you can go to the toilet. You're told to do this. You're told to do that. People think, oh, well, it's all right. If I'm having like two holidays a year, somewhere I love, that's brilliant. That's living. No, it's not. No, it's not. Yeah, you don't feel like it. Yeah. And that's why when my little one, when we do it as parents, telling him something, and then he'll go, I'm not listening to you. But I have to laugh now. Well, not laugh because I don't laugh at him, but I have to think, it's that thing because we're always told off our parents, and then you're sort of telling a child what to do, and even though you'll say, oh, they're a bit naughty, but really they're not. It's because the soul as a kid as well, soul expression as a child as well, is so free and pure that they just know they don't want to be told, and they will just say it. And you'll see them as always a cheeky little boy, this, that, and the other, which is quite funny when you look at it. It's like, oh, yeah, and those kids are always seen as kids who speak out or don't want to do stuff at school are always seen as the naughty kids. They get a label put on them, oh, they've got this, they've got, they don't sit still, or what is it? They've got, anything they label kids as these days. They're not sitting still. They don't want to sit still. They don't want to be regurgitating what schools are doing, with the curriculum and this, that, and they're not talking about teachers. Because we're supposed to be free to express ourselves the way we express ourselves, not the way we're being told we should be expressing ourselves. Yeah, ADHD. To me, that's a label that's been put on a child that intuitively knows it doesn't want to be sat in a school at a desk for hours on end, because that's not how they work. Most people with ADHD are very bright and they like to be doing things hands-on sometimes. So it's not their fault that they'll get bored in class, but they'll be seen as a naughty child, or, oh, they're not sitting still, they're not doing this. Well, maybe do something else with them, because we are all different and we all learn different. So what needs to come back in schools is a holistic way of treating. They go on about because I was a nursery nurse, they go on about treating children as individuals, and every child learns differently, but still, really, in the curriculum, it's not that much different. They still expect, I know this sounds awful, they'll bring children in now that have special needs into, I'll call a normal school, But I've actually found that different when I've worked with children that have come from that into what you'd call a normal school. I hate saying that, and it's been hard because I've looked after children with special needs where I wasn't trained in it, and it wasn't working because some of those children need more care, and sometimes they're disrupting the others that learn a different way. So it's a bit of swings and roundabouts with certain stuff, but yeah, but every child learns different. So it shouldn't just be you have got to sit there for hours on end, and you've got to listen to this. It should be a holistic way of learning. I don't even think they should be in that long either, but I do believe that's going to come with the future. Yeah, it's time to change curriculum. I think they are. With all this lockdown, I think there's going to be new things coming in holistic ways because, yeah, truth needs to be taught in school. Exactly, all that needs to come in. Children should be pushed to focus on what they actually love doing, not all this bullshit of, what do you think you're going to be when you're older? You can't ask a 4-year-old, a 6-year-old what you're going to be, because that'll always change, because we always do change. You know, and then they put all these tests on kids younger and younger to get them stressed, to get them in anxiety. It shouldn't be about that. It should be about fun, letting them naturally flow to what they're drawn to, like I was drawn to art at school, but went somewhere totally different and then come back round to it. My lighting's going. Hang on, let me see if I can switch the light on. Off on a tangent again. It's a bit better. The ball with the water that sticks to it needs to be change the history books, change the lives of our creator and religion. Yeah. We'll change the history books and more people are going to find out truth, because whoever was winning at the time normally writes the history book, and we all know it's bullcrap. But yeah, going back to energy, just let me see what Wine Guy was saying, because I'm just going off on a tangent here. I don't even know what I'm waffling on about now. You know me.
Having a desire to expand and grow.
Yeah, basically, he's talking about expansion. I'll switch it off now. Yeah, what, Jerry, I think primary school should be more about social skills and just very basic that's what I think. When I was at school, you used to have, you used to have to make sure you had a bit of your spellings, a bit of your maths, and a bit of reading. Now it's everything, and it shouldn't be, because a lot of kids might have all this, but then they haven't got the social skills, and it should be about, social skills and real life stuff as well, and what they enjoy, not what they're expected to do. And there's a lot of parents out there who will expect their children to do something because they either wanted to do it because they never got the choice, or they look up at people and think you should be doing that because society says you should be doing that. And that's where a lot of kids in the end will grow up with this traumatic thing of, that's trauma to them in a sense. They might not see it like that, but if you've been pushed towards something because your family have wanted you to be a footballer or something, when really you've not really wanted to do that, but you've been pushed into it and you've not been allowed to naturally expand yourself, like people will say like, oh, you can't be an artist because that's not a real job. Why isn't it? Because society tells you it's not, because it's something actually that, say if it was me, I enjoy, or someone enjoys, because people do say that, oh, it's not a job though, is it? Why is it not? Because it's a job is seen as what? Sitting in an office for hours on end under strobe lighting, and basically, just makes me think of the Matrix. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I live by nature's law and the seasons, yeah. Yeah. So like I'm saying, I've just gone right around the houses with everything, but like I'm saying with energy, all you have to do when you're feeling a certain way is just look at that energy and try and work out where it's coming from, and just like sit with it a bit, or just transmute it. Don't let the energy affect you. Example, as I've said before, you're watching too much of the news, it gets you fired up. I think Tatted T said the other day, when he used to watch the news all the time and political stuff, back a few years ago, he used to get high blood pressure. That's because you're getting yourself riled up in the energy. Like I tried to say before, when you, that's how you should eat our food too. What? By the season? Yeah. When when someone's annoyed you, you get that bubbling feeling, don't you? And you can feel the energy. You can't see it, but you can feel it. That's why I say to people, there's loads of people who won't expand the mind and go, oh, you're going on about this stuff, and you can feel it. It's invisible. You can actually see energy. I can see bits of it sometimes. You can see waves and stuff, but you can feel it. You feel it bubbling up inside you. So if there's something bubbling up inside you that's making you feel crap, you need to take yourself away from it. Like I said before, it could be a relationship, it could be family, it could be friends. You need to detach yourself from it. Just observe it, but you don't have to be in it. You can say out loud, I'm not taking that in. Blah 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 blah. It's okay to simply say what everything is energy, but as human beings, it's about developing understanding. That's important, not to be dismissive and just say everything is energy. Yeah, but everything is energy, and if you're coming in under another name trying to be a troll with no picture in, oh well, everything is energy if you actually look into it. And we're not human beings, we're spiritual beings having a human experience, and everything is energy, and we go back to energy. So, keep trolling because he ain't bothered. Bye. See, that just makes me laugh. People who bring up things like that, everything is energy. Everything is energy. Energy, vibration and frequency. And that's what I'm saying about people need to learn about energy, because they're getting themselves caught up in it. They're getting themselves caught up in it, not understanding what it is. Oh, you get all the trolls. And like I say, when you're talking about something positive, trying to help people, bring up certain things to help people, you always get people in. And I wouldn't be surprised it's from here and there. But that doesn't bother me. If people don't want to look at it like that, they don't have to. That's why I say, why do people come over if they're not interested? At the end of the day, like I'm saying, everything is energy vibrating at a frequency. A lower frequency or a higher frequency. Maybe you're in between. But yeah, if you're vibrating in a high frequency, a lot of things aren't really going to bug you, because you know not to let your energy guard down, if you want to say. And the more you do that in a high frequency, the more it pisses people off. And the more they sort of get mad with themselves and vibrate that vibration out. Like I said, if you're putting that vibration out all the time of fear, of anger, and you wonder why things aren't going right in your life, it's because you're putting out to the universe, and you'll just keep getting it back because it thinks that you love it, because you always want to be in it. To have things come out, you have to be what you want to come in. You have to be that frequency. So if you want loving, you have to be love. If you want happiness, you have to be happiness. Like I said, that's why I had Wayne Dyer on, because obviously it explains it better. But you have to be what you want to come in. It's not in the sense of putting out like what you want. It's you've got to be it. You've got to be it. Let me see if I can find the bit where, ba 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 ba, ba 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 ba. What, are you trying to change your account? What's going on? Oh, hang on. Right, so where? I was trying to find that bit in Wayne Dyer.
When you get my Limited Abundance program, I help you.
You want to be more happiness in your life. Start being happy with your life and stop moaning about stuff. There's a lot of people who moan about everything. And I've seen people in the real world, they moan, and wonder why they're ill. And then you see happy people that haven't got a lot, but they're happy. But things will start coming in and working for them because they're happy and they're pumping that vibe out. It's like people who troll just love that. They just love that energy.
Particularly will you find this in your yoga practice. Fighting it and reaching back. Particularly will you find this in your yoga practice. Yoga, the word yoga means what? Union. Union
Lights
with
are going.
what? Your highest self. union with God. This is what the highest self is. It's the part of you, the place within you that is not.
Because God isn't without you. Out, it's within you.
Is not worshiping God. That's what religion has brought to us and taught us, that God is outside of us. It's the part and the place within you that knows that at your highest level, you are God. Each and every one of us.
Yep.
And when you are connected to the highest place within yourself, when you are connected to the God that you are, you have all the powers of the creative source of the universe. You become the Tao. The Tao becomes you. So, yoga, or union, is really a way of becoming a manifester.
Yep.
Now, in order to become a manifester, someone who was able to attract and place into their lives what they place their attention on, there are certain,
Yeah.
we saw a lot about something called The Secret not too long ago.
This is what I love. This is what I said at the beginning. A lot of people get the book The Secret and they wonder why it's not working. Now, I did try and explain it before, but he just explains it very well. This is what people are missing. If you're getting into manifestation and you've bought that book, listen to what he's saying, because they did miss a bit out in it.
The newspapers and magazines and on the news and always, and I was asked to be a part of that.
And the only
Stayed
reason
away
I
from-
knew how to do it, even when reading that book, is because my dad told me ages ago what to do, years and years back when I was about 18 and I did something and it came in. So I've known always to put that feeling with it.
But for
Hi,
different
Effie.
reasons. Because for me, manifesting is not about attracting what you want.
Not about attracting what you want.
Manifesting is
What you
an
are.
awareness and an understanding that you attract what you are. I have been studying.
So think about if you have a lot of friends who are doom and gloomy, are you doom and gloomy? If you have finding a lot of soul fam, is that because you're being, a happy, joyful person? So you're attracting happy, joyful people around you because you're being that,
In depth something called the I Am Discourses. And I'll share just a little bit about it here. But one of my very favorite quotes, this is from Unveiled Mysteries, says, "The attitude of one person who wishes to work in conscious cooperation with the ascended host, with God, should not be, I wish I could go to them for instruction and pray to God or the source, that from which we all originated." T.S. Eliot said, "We shall not cease from exploration. But at the end of all of our exploring will be to return to the place from which we originated and to know it for the first time." Now, the poet was speaking about dying, leaving the body. I'm not. I think we can come to know that place from which we originated and live from it. And then the words that Jesus spoke to us in the book of John, that even the least among you can do all that I have done and even greater things. It was Jesus who said, when he was about to be stoned for blasphemy.
Well, I'll leave that there anyway. But yeah, you've got to be the frequency you want to bring in. That's why, for example, when people say, sometimes you find, say, a partner when you're least expecting it, normally that's when you've started to love yourself and you're not thinking about it, because you can attract anything in, and it comes in. And a lot of people say, oh, it was when I was working on myself. I wasn't really too bothered because you were too busy working on yourself and trying to love who you are. And then a person comes along when you least expected it. When I went to New York last year, I knew I was going to go to New York. I didn't specifically know how I was going to get there, but I'd put something out, said it out loud, had the feeling, I would get to America. And I am not joking, the next day, my mum rang me up and she'd had a drink and she said, we're going to New York. And I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, it was my sister's friends are going with the mums, but I'm gonna take you and your sister and pay for it. And I was like, that came in really fast. But there's been loads of things like that when you align. Yeah, spirits, alcohol aren't called spirits for no reason. Yeah, that's very true. Someone else was talking about that today. It was on someone's channel, but I know about that. There is a brilliant site selling healing tuning fork. I've got a tuning fork right here somewhere amongst all my stuff. Because I have got a little thing going on here. Where is it? Oh, it's reconnecting. Yeah, I do think the Templars and all that, I actually believe that they weren't all bad. I think fractions got into it. Like, not all Masons are. Here's my tuning fork. 528 healing, I think it is. 17 thumbs up. 528. Listen to this. Yeah, you could put this on your water. I've got a little tuning fork. Yeah, I've said that boxing 24/7. I've said it many times, when you're in a room, that's why I say when people don't believe in certain things, it's like energy's around you all the time is what everything is. If someone walks into a room and you've got this vibe and you just think, oh, I've got this vibe about that person. Sometimes you don't know why, just like, I've got a vibe about them. I don't like it. Yeah, or when people walk in and they're in a bad mood, you can feel it. You can feel it. You can feel their energy, because your energy goes out. It does expand quite a lot, so you can feel it through your energetic sort of, sphere, whatever you want to call it, Taurus field or whatever. Yeah, this is 528 hertz. Tune in the group, Dolly. Yeah, I think that's what I was actually doing with the orbs, with that singing, because that just comes in. And I don't know if you saw the colours, it was like yellowy gold. But that's why when you listen to certain music, it can either make you feel really creeped out, not good, and then you hear beautiful songs in the music and it makes you feel really good. They do 432, they do actually try and put the music now in slightly different tune, hertz to 432, because it changes us slightly. Most of us know that. That's why sometimes you've got to be careful what you're listening to. But like I said, with this whole energy and how people can make you feel, if you don't feed into that of how someone's trying to make you feel, for example, it's not going to affect your energy. It's not going to affect you. You've just got to think, that's what that person thinks. That's what that person wants to believe. I am not going to let their energy of what they think or believe affect my energy. That's going to stop me from doing what I'm doing or expanding, because I've been in relationships before where the men have tried to stop my expansion, shut me down from certain things. There's no way I'd be doing this. There's no way I'd be in here talking to. There's no way I would have done my hair. There's no way. Do not want me to expand in any way, because it's that thing of, oh, what will people think? Oh, she's on YouTube. Oh, she's put dreads in her hair. Oh, that. So I can't expand myself. I would have died inside. My soul would have died. If you can't do what you love, and someone, for example, like a partner or someone in your family, that's why people, most kids will grow up and move out and get their own house so they can do what they do, because, we're always like, can't do this in this house, whatever. Your soul will die. It will gradually die. and then you'll die. Well, we'll go on like, but your soul will, shrink. Let's say it's not expanding. So you're only staying small. You're not being this big ball of energy and light and being the true authentic self that you can be, because someone wants you in a tiny little speck, not to expand, 100% agree on being shut down from expanding and being yourself. Happened to me, others saying you can or won't or it's impossible. Yeah, and impossible is just splitting. It says I'm possible. Normally people will, I've done it, I've had family say things to me in the past because they're not knowing what they're doing with words, because their family have done it. That's how it goes on with the cycles of saying like, you can't do that. Why can't I do that? You're stupid. Why am I stupid? Because I don't learn like you, or think, oh, I don't want to go with the crowd, therefore I'm stupid. No. But then if you're listening to that constantly, especially as a child, over and over and over, so like I've said in relationships, someone putting you down, you start to believe it. So you're not gonna take steps to say leave that relationship because you believe in now you're nothing. I went through it. It took me a few years to get out. You've got to stay in a certain job because you're too fearful. Like someone might have said in a job, you won't go nowhere. And you believe it. And that's why you stay where you are. That's why you don't expand. Because somebody is telling you what you are. And you have this sort of fight within yourself, like, I'm not that, I could do this. But you're still listening to other people that are trying to put you down. And the more you listen to them and bow down to what they're saying, and starting to believe it, you'll never expand and you'll never be happy, because expansion is what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to go with the flow and expand. What a boring life it would be if you just stayed, and I don't mean stayed as a child because we should all be childlike, but you were never progressing, learning. It's so amazing to be learning all sorts of different stuff, even in this stuff that we're learning now, good and bad. It's amazing. Yeah, you become what you say or believe. It's what you say or believe. It's not to do with anything else. You are creating your own world, your own life. You are the creator. Not what anyone else says. Not what the black sheep family, exactly. Not what anyone else says. That's why in cycles of families, they say certain things because their family said it and their family said it. And it all goes back to, people not letting people express themselves. I mean, we've gone a bit to the over the top with certain stuff going on with looking like it's expressing itself, if you know what I mean, bringing certain people into schools, reading books, if you get what I'm saying, which is their side of stuff. But you're supposed to progress, expand, and find out the real you, and keep doing that, keep changing, keep flowing. Keep going. Yeah, lots of new peeps. It's great. Yeah, I love Native Indian culture. Yeah. Well, like I said, those people in them sort of relationships who do that to people, they don't want people to expand. Like society doesn't really want us to expand. It just dumbs us down all the time. Thank you, Boxing 24/7. Respecting the elders for sure. Yeah, well. Well, people lose a lot of respect, don't they? But like I said, in the times that we're in now, with all the stuff that's going on the 3D world of the news, the politics and all that stuff that looks so mad and crazy, and everyone running around and protests, the way we're going to get through it is going within, learning what we like to do, taking ourselves away from it all. There'll be people sat there now, I don't even know what time it is, tuning into the news, getting all fired up by what they're hearing and getting upset and going into fear mode because that's what they want. But when you actually take yourself away from that, it's not really happening in a sense within you. That energy is not, like I've been saying, it's just weird. I just feel so neutral at the minute within me. It's such a weird feeling. It feels like a numbness, but not a numbness in a bad way. If anyone's having that, it's just weird. It's just like I'm like, but it's good because I'm not getting riled up by the news and that, because obviously we know it's bullcrap, basically. I'm scared of looking when I start talking to someone, they tend to start relaxing. Yeah, can't judge a book by its cover. Yes, Christy Marie Sheldon said that the fifth dimension is where the manifestations are. Well, yeah, because if you think about it, if we're all going to love, you know, compassion and all that, yeah. There's so many people who explain it differently, you know. Because you can't manifest from fear. You can't manifest from fear. Because meaning, if you put an intent out with the feeling and everything, the way you do it, you can't have a doubt in your mind, fear of that is not going to come in. Like, what if that, it won't come in. Because you're putting it out that, what if? You don't need to know where or how. Like, so one of the Q maps about, you know, the creator, source, we don't need to know the ins and outs and scientific frigging thing of what it actually is. We just know it's there. I'm not bothered, you know. But if you're not putting true intent and belief and that feeling, that frequency all to it, it's not going to come in because you're doubting it. And once you doubt something, like when you doubt yourself, you don't go and do the things you want to do because you're doubting yourself. Go on. So you're putting your energy out and you're letting it vibrate at a higher frequency, which is not fair. You should try it. I have got a book somewhere. It's called Pam Grout's Energy. I know it's probably not in the front room, so I'm not even going to look for it, but you should write something down. Put the intention out there with the imagination, with the vision of what it is, something small at first, and just know it's going to come. Know it's going to come. I've done it where I've had 24 hours, 48 hours, 78 hours, whatever it was, and I've not thought, oh no, I'm down to a few hours, I'm not going to. You don't think like that. You just know. You just know it's coming. It's already, because it's already here, and it's coming. And then you can start doing that naturally, where you're not even you're just bringing things in because you're just doing it automatically. MC square. But can you imagine a lot of people when they wake up, they're going to be lost in this energy of anger, and this is what we are seeing anyway. But it's going to get worse before it gets better. But the guy was saying on Law Rising how it's something about art, which I was saying the other day, which is why I know. See if I can find it, because that was really good as well. It was. See, I've gone off on a tangent again, mate, but you know. Right, on the latest one,
Because
I think it was 52, somewhere around here. Let me see.
through the media, Project Mockingbird, and all the things that like we're seeing with, you know, I mean, I know it's a huge, you know, part of it, but yeah, that's sort of a different level of mind control compared to like being in the projects. But I know you wanted to get a bit of a reading done, David, and I want to make sure that before we take
Said something about artwork.
Blowing me away. I mean, I'm learning. Trust me, all of this is like this is all very new to me, and I find it just amazing. So, man, I guess, do you have to have someone give you permission to do the Akashic Records? 77.
Where they grab your head with a set of forceps to pull.
the way. Okay, keep going.
So
Oh, it's really interesting when they said if babies are born with forceps and things like that, where they've had to traumatise a child, which my first one was, and he is different, that it's like they wanted to traumatise you, they don't want you to come into your light. And I thought, that actually makes sense. It's weird. And also, I always wonder if there's anything with anyone that's been born premature and they've tried to get here. It's like you've tried to get here faster than you should have done. You know, when babies are premature. I always wonder about that because I have heard stuff about that and I think, it makes sense that. It's like you wanted to get here, so you wanted to get something out, wake up quicker, you don't always, but I sort of see that as like, oh, I've got long arms and could easily hug you all at once. Yay! I was forceps baby. Well, they talk about it, if you go to that video of, because David Rodriguez was born with forceps, so was my eldest son, and that was quite 17 weeks early. 17?
You there's not one of you right
He
now.
said something about,
Crazy. I'm sorry.
That's the Akashic record. I went back.
try and
I
find
guess you
it.
could call it a therapy session for me I've ever had. I've never what happened to me, and I've always thought.
And nobody wrote down my birth time, but yet I'm an astrologer.
Other places and spaces of time because we simultaneously exist, and if you kill us here, you kill us everywhere. It's called a spiritual dead man switch. The last 120 years,
There's massive upheaval of depression, anxiety. People don't know what's going on. Everyone's kind of being felt like they're held hostage. And I try to explain to people that this is part of, as humanity, the soul journey. Would you agree with that? Would you agree that right now this is the biggest, would you say ever on the planet?
no.
Never on the planet. Okay, so go ahead.
What we're going through now is unique for these current 4 existing generations, the last 120 years. The last 120 years of people living has created we're just going to say this, a massive debt number. And that is ancestral karma that's never been resolved.
There's a lot of people say the whole world has to wake up. I don't believe it. I think there's enough.
And to resolve it, the 4 existing generations, even the 120-year-olds to the 1-year-olds, they're the existing generations, have to figure out how to reduce this ancestral load of debt and karma that is entwined with our very living system, our governments, our banking.
But I think they said on here something about how art manifests out in the world. I believe it does. And it's on here somewhere and I want to find it.
The negative karma is stuck in those infrastructure by the world was
To pedophiles or things of that. So you're saying we are basically in this, like, it's like a holographic imprint, like our souls are basically imprinted in other dimensions.
Go and make a brew,
Like,
Lois.
but we're all- we're avatars
A hot
in-
drink.
no, not the you, David. The you, David, exists here.
But my soul's imprinted in other dimensions, in other beings.
Yes, duplicated, reproduced. Yes, because that's.
Yeah, was it that he said, JP?
Using the
He said, I'm trying to find out where it was.
Life,
He just mentioned it.
Okay, that is so fascinating.
Piece of magic. When you're mind controlled, you're dealing with randomness in the reward system.
See
of
if
the
he says
matrix,
it.
Where you literally have to, your self-esteem is built by the matrix, not from the soul. Whereas when you're in your soul, you tend to meet soulmates. You tend to gravitate towards things that you're passionate about, and you're working with a greater sort of currency of cosmic and natural law instead of matrix rules, which provide real healing instead of what we're being, subject to in an extreme.
No, I'm not. Anyone else feeling mad energy? I've been feeling mad mad energy with other people, not with me. People just being mad. Because like I said, it's because all that energy. If you think about the energy that's flying around right now with people being confused, the outside, I'm talking about those people who are watching the news, who are watching people getting, protested. Those people who are going doing all that, who are in a very negative energy. I'm feeling that off people.
Right now with all this going on.
The thing with mind control.
Yeah, the Voyagers and
it's not
yeah, I've
as
seen that.
widely
Yeah.
implemented as the conspiracy community wants to admit. It's there, but it's not as widely implemented. There are specific souls who have a specific type of DNA that are highly targeted because if they wake up, they can throw a wrench into everyone's plan. Therefore, they get targeted at an early age.
Oh, yeah,
Their
Raffle,
mind is
yeah.
very specific, very observable by their technology that's in the
Well, listen to this
atmosphere,
bit because he
and all
might
the
mention it.
wires in your wall operate at a certain frequency, and when a certain soul comes in, they go, "Hey, you have the potential of doing something I don't like. You're targeted. Targeted for what? I'm going to send you down a direction of trauma, down a direction of false synchronicity."
The reason why they want to send you down trauma, because most people wake up through traumas, but then the reason why they try to give you traumas false synchronicities is to try and keep you down, but a lot of people break through it and it pushes them forward and they actually really find the true authentic self. That's why I'm saying don't stay in certain energies and lock yourself down not to expand and stay in that sort of victim mode of the trauma you were in. Work through it and take it as a lesson.
Until you find yourself source disconnected, then I'm going to introduce you to a false source and make you a part of a program.
A program within the program, right?
There you go.
Right, but then there's social engineering, though, that what comes through the media, Project Mockingbird, and all the things that like we're seeing with, you know, I mean, I know.
So let me see if they mention it.
I understand the concept and everything you're saying. I believe it. I've kind of asked some elementary questions here and there for the audience.
Oh, thank you for bringing that up. Sugar Babe's chick Muta was it? Is talking about human trafficking right now. Funny because as I said this morning, you're going to see more and more celebrities talking out about human trafficking, what they may have seen, what they may have heard. A bit like Brian Harvey. You know, he's been talking about for ages what he saw, and people thought he was mad and this and that. You're going to see more of it. Yeah, the Sugar Babes, I like the Sugar Babes. You're going to see more of it. Even if they were a part of something because something went on, people are going to start talking now, and this is where it's going to get madder and madder. And people are going to start realising, and this is where people's heads are going to explode. And this is why I keep saying, get your mind ready and your energy. Also to be there for people when they lose their minds, because there are going to be people who lose their minds, but also because certain celebrities are going to start speaking out more and more as it goes on. Yeah, Ricky Gervais was brilliant. People are going to start waking up and they're going to be looking at people like me, you and everyone else that have been talking about human trafficking, all this other stuff, because that's all going to roll out, and they're going to go, oh my god, you were talking the truth, you're not a nutcase after all. Well, yeah. And it's not like we want to say, I told you so, even though we do want to say, I told you so. It's like we were trying to put it out there to try and help you. We weren't trying to argue against you. We were just trying to show you the Great Awakening. You know, and they get young kids in those things, don't they? You know, young girls, young lads in those, get the tingly finger in those, you know, entertainment business. And that's just a great awakening, and that's what's happening. But the more and more celebrities speak out, because, you know, a lot of people are into celebrities. I'm not saying they're all wrong, but when they start talking out more and more about what people have been hearing, whispers of certain stuff, you're putting things on Facebook and Instagram, and people are like, oh, I don't believe it, this is stupid. They're going on about everyone's a pedo, everybody's this, oh, child trafficking, oh, it's a bit stupid, isn't it? And all of a sudden it starts coming out in the news, because it will do. You know, my mum will ring me up and go, oh, they've been talking about that thing you were talking about. And I'll go, yeah, I was trying to tell you. But my mum will turn around and go, oh, yeah, I knew. No, you didn't. You didn't. You thought I was a nutcase who needed a white jacket 3 years ago, 4 years ago, whatever it was. But that's okay. We're all going to get through this. We're ridding this earth of that energy, those people, them entities, whatever the hell it is, because that is not the world that we want. You know, that is not the energy we want to be living in, swimming in, or anything.
Because this is all very new to me, and I find it just amazing. So, man, I guess, do you have to have someone give you permission to do the Akashic Records?
Yeah, I'll be the new Dollywood.
Do it. So, if I give you permission, can we do that now?
Yeah. What was your date of birth?
Right, just let me try and find this art thing. I'm probably not even going to be able to find it.
Just letting you know that, because I'm just getting as much as I can.
And it's just a matter of getting the body in the right state of relaxation and the mind in the no time space, and all of a sudden it's like the electricity turns into liquid.
Well, I think there's something else.
Right,
my dad said the other day, it's the first time he saw and they live all the way through. I went, well, that's just a big slap in the face, isn't it? I mean, what were they trying to take down there and everything, you know?
I have a question, because this is important.
Yeah.
I have nightmares sometimes, or I have thoughts of someone putting a hit on me, or, I mean, it's already happened basically here. You can see it. But I also have thoughts of like gunshot, or is that the way I passed away in my last life?
Oh, Mark Dice is
that's
hilarious.
The actual person that did it
So
to you.
funny.
That person that did it.
Let me see if I can find out where he says about art.
Because after you passed out and all the time you had to recover, that actually did it to you is not known. To you, each and every doctor, each and every Your career isn't over. It's just opened up to something completely different for you.
See, some people think the careers are over, this is over, that over. It's not, it's expanding. You're going into something new, like he was saying. Yeah, but I lost my boxing career. And he's like, no, you're going into something new. You could help teach children to box. You could help so many different things.
Absolute
This
expansion.
has probably been the most, I can't believe this became a therapy session, but this is the most fascinating
Yeah, I think we're helping construct
I
in
guess you
in
could
that
call it,
realm as well.
therapy session for me I've ever
Definitely.
had. I've gotten more out of this than I have with any therapist or psychiatrist by immediately knowing I was suffocated by an umbilical. That is exactly what happened.
And you can't continue to ignore them, they're called mild hyperbaric chambers. Meditation tank. Like, it's very, 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 very hard.
Oh yeah, someone
I'll
said a
simply
question
put it,
about I found
begin a
it right.
daily
I'm going.
practice that
These are the
starts to use
questions. This is
regular
quite good.
thousands of years until finally our soul will
So
still.
people in chat were asking questions. Hi, Mary.
Way connected to love, unconditional love, even to the darkest of forces. But I can imagine, though, that there's a whole other Laura out there. But I can't imagine that I would harm anybody else.
I've actually had a QHHT session with the lovely Shane off Unbiased and on the Fence months ago, and I went through that whole thing and come out with, I went up there in the universe and I went through all that, and yes, it's on the Q map, that as well. QHH, Dolores Cannon's on the Q, on one of the spiritual Q maps. Yeah, I went through that. Mine was a galactic one, and I'll actually tell you about that in a minute of what I remember me talking about at the time, and you can tell you're in a weird sleepy state when you're in it.
I might just be like, hey, she's a freaking bitch. She's pissed off.
I love
Spark
Laura.
of you, a little spark of you there, a little spark of you there, a little spark of you there, and they're never going to tell you they do this shit to you.
How much can our internal joyful imaginations affect this world? That's why kids are important, because they use their imagination.
How much can our internal joyful imaginations affect this world?
Gigantic amount. When one has enthusiastic effort and understands one's a joyful imagination combined with enthusiastic effort, you can change and imprint upon your reality until it becomes palpably feeling coming back to you. Have you heard about programmed water?
Oh yeah, this is what I was talking about Dr. Emoto earlier today, which I talked about 3 years ago, 4 years ago. We were talking about that.
Water. When
You
you
can
have joyful
program.
imagination that has enthusiastic effort behind it, and you drink it, it does very positive things to you. So absolutely, internal joy and imagination is a fundamental part of out-creating the negative system.
Out creating it.
Okay, next question. Alex, does our DNA tracing show where we have lived?
Right, where's the art one?
The
Let me find the
information
art one.
You speak about physical earth changes that are about to happen.
Said he's
I
not
want to talk
talking
about
about
the
that.
physical changes. Why? Because it serves nothing right. I don't know what's going to happen.
Synchronicities.
Time of you can't love the I am you that has access to your dream time body. It's like switching from.
So when I
this
dream, is it
skin
really
to
another
a
me?
skin that has all the abilities of a Porsche to drive all these other places. Think of it like add-ons to a computer. It's just when you go to dream, you have all these other capacities to do. You are no longer.
Yeah, because you're not in your physical form, so you can go anywhere and do anything.
You're in the duality of life. You've entered the singularity of all existence.
We have time for a couple.
I mean, sometimes I actually think dream state is our real state, and this that we're in is a bloody nightmare. Do you know what I mean?
More questions. If religion is an illusion, who do we pray or meditate to?
Why do you have to pray or meditate to anyone?
Yeah, I sort of think that. Boom, shalaka
You can
laka.
choose to do it. Religion does not need, prayer does not need a religion or an esoteric practice. It doesn't need word. Most of them got it set and
Trying to find the art one.
World.
Here, there it is.
It had.
How does making art affect the etheric world? Now, funny that, isn't it? Because what have I always been drawing? A lot of, you'll normally see me drawing a lot of like angel type women things. And the last painting that I showed you, that is somewhere in here, and I don't actually know where it is. Where's that gone? Well, anyway, you've seen it. So he answered. So that again was, how does making art affect the etheric world? So if you think about it, if you're into Q and you know about what artwork some people have been putting out, like the pedesters, what sort of artwork they have, sorry, and then this artwork that puts out, oh, that's just so putting out artwork affecting the etheric world. How does making art affect the etheric world?
It's a lot. It's like when you walk down a street and you see really fabulous tagger art, but on a spiritual level. So when people make art, it affects the unseen world tremendously. There are certain paintings out there by the masters of the old. The reason they jump generations is because the energy they put into the unseen and the astral world.
Bye, Rebel.
They are magical creations.
What are the metaphysical effects of alcohol on the human body? Oh, I gotta hear this.
So alcohol.
Yeah, so look at that. We know what that is, but that is what I've always said. Your artwork, what you're putting out, people don't know. When people sit and go, "Oh, I used to draw really dark things and all that," and like that, it's like, yeah, you're putting that out, and I think you're sort of manifesting it as well. So yeah, this picture. I know I keep saying I'll print things off, but this picture can be printed out when I get some more ink, definitely. The John picture I can't do at the minute because it's cutting its head off because it's too big. I need to take a picture of it to shrink it. But I think the colour's going, but I will test it if I've got any ink left for the colour. But this one in this size can actually be printed at this size. And it was a painting that I painted ages ago, a few years ago, and it did have writing at the top, but it sort of says, let me see, obviously it will need to be cut down a little bit, but I will have to get some decent paper to put it on as well. Remember, oh, this is what it says, this was done a few years ago, remember who you really are, a beautiful being of the light. That's what it actually says on it, and this was done a few years ago. So yes, I have always been talking about that and pumping it out through my artwork, even if I didn't know at the time, to the person who was going on the other day. But yeah, and the blue hair thing is, that's a lot of that Tiffany blue colour. That electric blue colour is the colour that I normally see in my mind's eye a lot. So yes, I'm just thinking, yeah, and it can be in a bit of a wider frame because there's more of the picture, but yeah, everyone did like that picture, and I've actually got it in my wall, a print in the wall in my front room. I'm just wondering about something with it, if it could get printed on a canvas, that. But yeah. I'll speak to you about that, Rachel. Oh, sorry, what's that? So yeah, that's why I've said artwork. Yeah, palladium blue. That's why I always resonate with. My nana always liked the gemstone turquoise blue. That's what I resonate with. Aurora Borealis. And I also think as well. Oh yeah, I saw Rachel's thing there. I also think as well. Oh, what was it about? I was talking this morning, this afternoon about. I've realised that if we have galactic families and we come from galactic families, which I actually believe we do, when we go on about Palladian and stuff like that, and Palladian is on the Q map, that going off subject, that I've always thought, you always think, oh yeah, I'd be a lovely, like, angelic, one of them energies of, I always think of Palladian as like quite bouncy and funny and sweet and stuff like that. I don't know. And I always think, yeah, I'd love to be one of them, like, sort of calm sort of energies that's a bit angelic and all loving, but I've realised I'm not actually. I don't mean I'm not that. I just think I'm more of a feisty. I was thinking today, I thought, no, actually, Janine, you would be one of the warrior type that's coming down. Not warrior type as in two, like warrior fighting, but I am a bit like that, like a bit like Laura Rising. I say I'm speaking out, so I'm not all like the quiet sort of, like I said before, softer sort of like maybe beings out there, a bit of feistiness in. And I've always thought, oh yeah, but I'd want to be more of the like, soft ones. But I've realised I'm not. Because that isn't, like, I have that frequency, but I'm also quite like feisty, as in I could think if it was me looking down on earth going, right, we've got to get in there, to wake our soul tribe up, that I'd be like, come on, let's go. Like, they'd all be looking around going, well, who's going in? As like, and they'd be like, oh yeah, we're all like, oh right, fuck it, come on, let's go. Want to get in there. I was born premature, like, I don't know how many weeks premature, but I was tiny. So it's like I did want to get here. And it's like, come on, come on, come on. I want to get here. If anyone gets what I'm saying. I want to get in there and like gone there a bit early before my time. But I did. Me and my sister are quite alike in our beliefs. You know what I mean? Like, hold your horses. Where are you going? It's like, no, we're going in because I'm like that in real life. All this that I've been trying to do is like, but I love humanity and I want to wake them up, but we realise we can't do it. They've got to be on their own individual path because that's what everybody is, on their own individual path. But because we love humanity, we want to wake them up and slap them round the head with the red pill and whatever pill and all that. And then, like I said the other day, but we're realising, they're all coming to it, but they've got to learn their own individual, divine, individual path, even though it's the same. Because the only way they're going to wake up is learning it by themselves and going through the experiences. But it was like, I'm jumping in, I'm going down, I'm going down, I'm going down. And it's like, no. And then I've come in, I got born too early like my sister. It's like, no, we're going. I've always been a bit like that. Dolly, you talked your way here out of your mum. Yeah, I think I did. So, and she said we were always good children, quiet. I don't mean quiet, but like we were good kids. We went to a church once, and even the vicar said that the well-behaved kids that I've ever seen. But now I'm like blah 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 blah, because I felt like I've been suppressed. Like, oh, don't act like that. Don't do this. Even through family, certain experiences, and like. I remember as a kid, like thinking, don't say this at school, even as a young kid, because it might make me look stupid. So you don't put your hand up because you think, oh, what if I'm wrong? What if I'm wrong? And I know a lot of people go through, what if I'm not going to say anything then? So there were certain things when I was younger, because we all go through that, where I didn't want to speak up. There was big gobs in the class. I didn't want to speak up because I thought if I speak up, I'm going to look stupid or someone's going to say something. Now I don't care. So it's a bit like that whole thing, you get suppressed a bit and shut down a bit. And it's a bit like what the guy was saying on Laura Eisenhower with David Rodriguez, as in he came in with forceps. It's like that side I know it sounds mad, want you in a trauma because they don't want certain people waking up. And I also do believe, like I said this evening, if whoever might not have listened to that chat, I believe there's different awakenings of different waves of us waking up. People say starseeds, light workers, healers, whatever. And I said this evening there's some that were more into meditating, holding the grids, holding the energies. But then there's some of us that had to come along for now, because this just totally makes sense. That you've had all them ones doing the grids, all the ones doing the meditating, all the ones bringing in energy. They don't want to be seen, they don't want to be heard, because the dark side would have seen them more then and it would have suppressed it, which I think it's done in the past. But because it's got stronger and stronger and stronger, then there's the waves of us lot who will speak out. You don't have to speak out, but people are still doing that work that are not. But if we just spoke out, I don't mean we, but if we had more speaking out way back, because there was more people saying, we don't need to speak out, we can do it quietly, because they have been doing, they would have got them people way back then, and then this won't be, if anyone gets what I'm saying, but that's what I see it like. So when people see people coming across us, they're speaking out they should have been just sat down doing this. It's like, no, that's what you should have been doing, because that's your calling and that's your path and that's your mission. Your mission was to do that bit there. Like I said, in a war game, everyone in that sort of, just putting it out there, army group had different bits that they have to do within that fraction of that. I don't know what you call it in an army, even though we were in the army. that sector of that bit. So, you know, like I said, you'd have, you know, in football, in basketball, or anything, you have the I don't even know what the bits are called. You have the ones that run at the front, the ones that are at the back, the ones that, you know, you got your goalie, all them bits. People are doing different jobs to play the game. It doesn't mean anyone's better than anyone else because, oh, you were brilliant because you just sat there and you were just meditating. You were holding the energies for Earth. You know, that doesn't make me better than you or you better than me, that you were doing that and I wasn't doing that, because some people are like that in the communities. You know, I've seen it all over YouTube when I've got into the videos that I like watching, and I'm not talking about any individuals, I'm just talking about that is what I've seen, where there'll be some people out there that think they're better because they've been doing it for years. Yeah, they think that because they've been doing some part of a mission, when you're doing something else, that doesn't, theirs is better or higher, and it's not. It all is individual, but it works together. With all that working together, that's how it gets taken down. That is needed with that. The ones who talk out are needed, the ones that don't talk out, the ones that are in the background, the ones that are quiet, don't need people seeing what they're doing. I remember meeting someone, and it does freak me out now because I do think, do you know what, were they actually from this world? And they said, I don't do this work to be seen or for anyone to know who I am. I just put it out and I give these things out and I'm just doing it by myself. And that's what I believe. But there's always people who are like, oh yeah, I'm better because I've been doing it for years, or I've been holding this in. Yeah, that was your mission at that time. It's different now because the timing's different and people are speaking out. People are speaking out. I've never brag about being awake. It's been a bloody nightmare. No, but people are talking about being awake now because you can. I think back in the day, ages ago, people didn't because they didn't want to be seen as well to the dark. I sort of see it like that, and people just think you're batshit crazy. But now it is a time to speak out because it's 2020, it's 2020 vision. There's a lot about people talking out because it's talking your truth. Truth is to talk the truth, like they say, throat chakra. So that's why you're going to start seeing a lot of celebrities speaking out, and a lot of communities are speaking out. And I know one of the biggest reasons why I got attacked the other day off some people is because the people that I like to watch and resonate with, a lot of stuff they say, I'm not saying everything, Magenta Pixie, the lovely Prime Disclosure, you know, have different ways of putting things across. Jen McCarthy, I think it is. There's loads of us that I'm into. Started talking about Trump and Q, and I've realised it's for the light. And I know these people on that side don't think it is. They think it's part of the New World Order. Still stuck in things like CERN and all that stuff. CERN got shut down ages ago, a few years ago. They're still stuck in all that stuff. It's like, yeah, well, we know all about that. It's nothing new under the sun, but we actually know that things have moved because, like I said, things flow, things move. But that's the reason why I can see it, because I know for a fact they're not into that. And that's each to your own. You don't have to be, but, you know, resonating with everything. Love you, family. I'm cooking dinner. Thank you, Nails. Yeah, I don't even really know what I'm waffling on about. It's just all coming out upside down, back to front, and like the way I normally talk. Probably haven't even spoke about what I work to, I'm sure. But the whole point was just talking about energy. But I am going to be doing an interview with Red Pill Phil where I won't get distracted and he'll be asking me questions and that, and we'll be bouncing off each other. Will be a bit easier probably next week sometime. Hi, Dolly, and all just woke up. Oh, what are you cooking for dinner, Nails? So, like I said, I've said this and said this and said this, and I'll keep saying it. Don't let anyone define who you are. Don't let anyone tell you who you are or what you're not or what's your thing. Like I was getting told my creativity isn't my creativity. Apparently it's somebody I know it's mine. You can see I have a creative room. Like I said, the easiest thing to do when you're getting round up by something is just take yourself off for 10 minutes. Go and read a book. Go and do anything that puts you in a good ass energy. Go and do that. If you're at work, you know, if you're actually in work, go to the toilet, sit on the toilet. Just sit there. Just get away from everything and just breathe for 10 minutes, you know. Sing, write poetry, learn something new. Get away from the news, you know. Take yourself off your phone, your computer. If you're on it a lot in the day, try and get maybe off it for an hour or whatever. Start detracting yourself off it if you're on it too much, and go and do something or go and be, you know. It's funny because it could be anything to who's judging. Yeah. But I mean, like when I've been drawing pictures of certain things, I was supposed to do one today, but I didn't have time, funny enough, because the time just goes, I don't even know where it is. The pictures that I show you when I've been sketching, they're always quite what to do with going in, but I've known that there's someone I showed a bit ago did a big picture of New Earth and what was coming in, and I see that that is a thing that's going out there because you're putting your intention on it when you're drawing and you're in that mode of meditation, you're loving it and you're concentrating on it. It's all going out there. It's all going out there. I know it sounds bad, but it's all going out there and it's manifesting, and that's why people like, I'm gonna call her what I'm gonna call her. Marama bitch, whatever her name is, that witch, dark side, by the way, was putting that spirit cooking shit out. And art, that is not artwork. And if anyone thinks that is artwork, that's how sick you are in the head. Because they tried to make it look trendy. There's a lot of work like that they've tried to make. I don't know why I've got glue in my hand. Trendy. And it's paedophilia and all that stuff that goes along with it. And then that'll manifest because everyone's consenting to it. You're consenting to it because you're seen as a trendy. It ain't trendy. Kids hung up in a swimming pool. And we all know what that is. Some people might not. It's putting it out there and you're consenting to it. Oh yeah, it's good that I want that hanging on my wall. Yeah, we'll put more of that out because that's normal, isn't it? And then it makes us all be like, yeah, well, that's a normal thing, isn't it? That you'd be seeing and putting out there. And you're seeing that, when they say do a vision board and you put it somewhere where you can see because it's subconsciously going in and going out there. Well, that's the same thing to me. You're constantly seeing a piece of evil artwork like that subconsciously, even if you think it's funky and you don't know what's behind it. That's going out all the time. To me, that's how I see it. Yeah, you get numb to the more you see it. Exactly. No, none of their art is art. It's demonic, it's disgusting. So I say, let's get pumping some more good ass positivity, whatever your artwork is, in whatever form it is, pumping it out and getting back to good ass energy, good ass vibes, because this world has been in a lot of shit energy for a lot of time, especially with the media, always putting negative shit out there. They don't put good stories out. Every now and again they'll put a lovely little happy story out, which is probably false, and they've got someone in from somewhere to just make you feel that little bit better. And then they pump all the shit out, and then they pump all the shit out. That's why I said on Facebook and places they'll have them stories where you'd see kids fighting and battering other children, and everyone stood there filming it like the little zombies that they are. Oh, I'm going to stand here and film. Nobody's intervening with that child and helping that kid that's getting battered. They're all just stood there thinking it's good. Oh, I'm going to send it to my friend. We'll all have a good look at it and laugh at the person who's on the floor. What if that was your child? What if that was your mother or your father or whatever? But no one's intervening because they're trying to dumb you down to think that that's normal and it's funny, so everyone will go about it. So no one does nothing. No one helps anyone. They've done it on the BBC TV. They've done them shows where it's classed as funny to actually see what society does. When, I don't know if you've seen it, they've had programmes out where people do something, but they're acting to see if people will react. And it was getting to the point where no one was reacting. They wouldn't speak out because they were in fear of speaking out in case they got attacked. So that's how it goes. So you'll see someone being killed in front of you. No one reacts. It's just normal. There's a kid getting kidnapped and, whatever in front of you, it doesn't matter because it's normal. No, it's not normal. It's not normal. Yeah, desensitizing, and that's what goes on. And people think, why, what are you going on about? Yeah, normalising violence. It is the normalising violence. It's disgusting. That's why these young kids that get into certain music industries get to put the crap out of, oh, she's a hoe, she's a bitch, bang, 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 bang. And then you've got that thing going on in the black community where they think, do it, and then they're all killing each other. And all that, because violence is a good... No, it isn't. It's just perpetuating it. To see violence as a normal thing, it isn't normal. And I say to people all the time, people say, oh, it's the way we're born. We're not... No, we're not born that way. We're taught to be that way. Taught to be that way. To think it's normal, it isn't effing normal, is it? Really? People copycat people. And if people think they're getting somewhere or they're becoming famous through it, they're going to copy it, No wonder they got rid of people like Tupac, because Tupac knew all them people that sang about certain stuff. They didn't sing about shit like they sing today. It's not, half of it's not even music today. You know, they just make crappy songs up. It isn't music. And all young ones are like, yay, yay, this is good. It's like, no, it's not if you actually listen to it. I could make it up. It's absolutely crap. And that's why I like Tom McDonald, the rapper, on YouTube, because he says it's like it is. And he said he ain't going to change. You don't need to be, if you're rapping him and anything like, to be talking about degrading women and going on the way they go on, all about violence and all that. It's just pathetic. Yeah, they did it to us, we have to do it back. What? Yeah. So like I say, if you're finding anybody in any energies at the minute of like feeling, yeah, it's abnormal, feeling a bit low, or you're feeling you're getting attacked off people around you, especially with what's going on now, or people are saying stuff to you that is making you feel, just flick it off. You know, it can pee me off for a day and I'll talk to people and then I'm fine. It's not that you don't have to feel it. You know, and the fella that I'm with at the minute will ground me back in anyway, so that's brilliant. But just to know, no one defines who you are, only you do. You know your truth, so you stick with your truth. If you feel you're doing something right, you know, and it's helping people to be more pulled up in a positive frequency, and it's helping them stay. Yeah, he is a poet, yeah. He helping the thank you, Tapper's just put Tom MacDonald in if you've never heard of him. You might not be into rap, but he does sing the truth basically. He's a good guy. And he's not sold his soul to the devil, if you know what I mean. He doesn't do it on, you know, thingy. I have a ring that says just breathe to remind myself to ignore the crap. Yeah, that's why I've said this. Sometimes when I do the jewellery, because I do a lot of shaky jewellery, when you hear the shakes, to remind yourself to put an intent out there or breathe. And that's the biggest thing. If you ever get in that anxiety, or oh my God, I can feel my energy bubbling, or oh, I'm about to react to it, just breathe deeply. Do it like 10 times, but breathe very deeply, and then just sort of like, you will become calmer before you react, and then it'll probably go and you won't react as maybe as big as you was going to react. It's how you react, it's how you respond really. So they are weak, that's why they have to attack on all sides. Yeah. It's like I've said the other day, you can't fill yourself up with new energies if your rucksack on your back is full of old energies. I say it as a metaphor, as in like you've got a rucksack on your back, it's full of heavy weight from the past and what people are saying. If you're going to carry that around all your life, it's going to be really hard. You've got to release it and let go. It's like got a drawstring underneath, let it go, it all falls out. Then you can start feeding yourself, filling it up with new experiences, people, a load of positive things that come in your bag, you know. If it's too dense, it's really heavy. It's coming from a lighter frequency. It's just going to feel a lot easier to move through life in a lighter way of being. Because this world's very dense, and it's the denseness of the fear and all that sort of negativity. You know, you could look at your obviously lower chakras, negative down here, and the more higher you go, the more lighter you become, brighter and lighter. So it's going to be a lot easier. Because you're not holding on to what people are thinking about you, or, you know, trying to distract you from your path. Just do you. Do you. What do I think about the what? Oh, the Merkaba. Do you mean the, as they call the little travelling device, as in the Merkaba in, do you mean the Merkaba when they say like in a sphere is like a travelling machine? Do you mean that in that sense, or? So I'm like, eh. This is why I say, what are the orbs that are coming in? Just because it looks like something that we don't really know. And my fingers are tingling as I say this one. Crystal started. It's like I said when we used to do the shiny hands, when you can see like they're doing it now. It looks like glitter under your hands, as people say, crystalline DNA. It's on my hands now as I'm speaking, because I used to get that a lot when I'm resonating in a joyful manner. I've not looked at it for a bit actually. remember when I was like, oh, shiny hands, shiny hands. But yeah, just because we're not taught what things are, how do things travel? Like in the film, in the Blink, in the Wrinkle in Time. I know it's got Oprah Winfrey in it, but at the beginning they say Tesla machine. They were talking about Tesla. Look at what's, oh yeah, looking at Tesla and saying we don't need rockets and things to go out there. It's oh, what was it he said? It's all in the mind, because you go within, in your mind's eye to travel. You go within yourself. And talking about Tesla, Trump 2020 Twitter, got the link already. What have I got to go and look for that? What's that? And then I don't know what you mean. And then, oh my God, do you mean this one? Someone has done Trump as a Viking. Oh my God, my dad just sent it me. This is hilarious. Trump as a Viking. What you sent me today? What the Tesla? Do you mean the Tesla? Oh yeah, sorry. Right. Yeah. Tapper's got it in right. Tesla. Watch this on Twitter.
I'm now the proud owner of a
Right, you know, I talk
Tesla
about
tower.
free energy, and if you know about Nikola Tesla, you know about free energy, free wireless energy. Watch this.
Here we go. Fluorescent light bulbs.
That's
still
a
in its
light
package.
bulb.
No wires.
A light bulb, no wires, still in the packet, not been opened.
No nothing. Nikola Tesla. Wireless transmission.
Wireless
of
transmitter
electricity.
is lighting the light bulb up by itself. Don't need to be plugged in.
I'm now the proud owner of a little Tesla tower. Here we go. Fluorescent light bulb still in its package. No wires, no nothing. Nikola Tesla. Wireless transmission of electricity.
That's what Nikola Tesla wanted, and he wanted free energy to the world, and I do believe that's what's coming. Free the energy is free energy, and free the energy is also us, because everything is energy. So yeah, that was on Tapper has put it in Twitter in live chat if you want to go and check that out. Have you seen the golden hair with Trump in it? What's the golden hair? What's that? Game changer. Exactly, it's a game changer to the world. That's why I say things are changing. The world is changing, you know, and people say, oh, you can't have this coming in, and if they haven't got that, yeah, you can. Like I said, we don't need a monarchy, we don't need certain things. People just want to stick to the old ways of things. Well, the old ways were never meant for us. They were never meant for us. So don't look at things of like, oh my God, things are changing. Well, thank God for that, because I do think after all this lockdown shenanigans, nothing's going to be the same. Back to the actual same. I want one. Well, I do think when you look into things, they always said that the energy harnessed, like to even put light out to America and electricity, it's just a very small device. So all homes could have one. It doesn't take that much up. It's free once you've got one, but it's just a tiny little thing. So I'm saying keep your eyes open for that. So yeah, sorry, what was that with the golden hair thing? And I've seen a lot of people talking about if we went through a certain change with money, whatever way that goes, is if you were doing a job, you're going to get paid by your true intentions of what you're doing. And I thought, yeah, I could see that. I'm not saying that's what's happening, but I thought, yeah, imagine if you were just doing something you loved, and because it was that frequency, you were getting a currency by doing that, because it was a true intention. It's not someone trying to get money because they're trying to traffic. You know, they'd be... I can't even explain what I'm going on about, but yeah, in my head. It's called the Golden Hair video with Trump spoof. Oh, I'll have to watch it. Yeah, mini Tesla towers. That's what Tesla wanted. But really, I think if we have a big one, that was supposed to transmit out anyway. So, you know, and we have seen a few things, and pylons look like Tesla towers. Things can be converted back. Why there's all stuff been going on? There's stuff going on behind the background. But But like I said with energy again, anyone who's in shitty energy, all you've got to do is remove yourself from that energy and go and do something else. So if it's something making you feel like that, take yourself out of that energy you're residing in. If it's a relationship or other things, friendships, take yourself out of it. Maybe you have to get out of that relationship to stop residing in that energy, because it's not going to stop with a person who doesn't want to change themselves within and won't look at themselves maybe yet, and won't take responsibility for the way they're reacting to something within them. That isn't always the person that they're pointing it at. It's just they don't know how to work with how they're feeling inside because they've not been taught. Maybe their parents got angry, so they think the way to express themselves is through anger because they don't know any other way. You know, and we've probably all done that at some point. Yeah, so I'm going now because I'm waffling on. But like I said, check out Laura Eisenhower's latest chat. It was great. And there was, Laura Eisenhower. There was Wayne Dyer. That was good. There was something else, but I can't remember what it was. But I'm feeling great today. I'm quite high in energy. That's why this is the third time I've been on. You know, people are getting I think another wave's coming, a lockdown. Bring it on. Another wave means another wave of awakening. So I'm like, just bring it on. Bring it on. Bring it on. Because they're going down. But we've got to see it, like I said. And this is why you've got to look at yourself with your shadow self. You've got to see it to know why you get mad at certain things. And, you know, you've got to look at that. And no one likes looking at themselves. They don't want to be told, you know, they don't want to look at themselves. And you always know when you've done something wrong or said something or done things in the past. But it's maybe some people get angry because they think because they did something in the past or they've been like that's how they have to be because that's a person, you know, like say for instance some guy thinks they're a hard man and they've got to always act like that, and really they don't want to be like that, but they've got to keep up. I really needed this nice vibe. Thanks John Ford. I don't even know what I'm waffling on about, like I'm just waffling like I do, but you know, they want to keep that hard appearance up, but they don't really want to be like that, and they're sick of being in that sort of like everyone looks up to me to be this guy who does that. Well, friggin' don't be bothered what people think, basically. If you're living your life for other people to keep them happy, this is important, you're never gonna be happy. Because you're living your life to make other people happy. Your family happy because they want you to be a doctor. So you've got to go and be a doctor. It's not what you want to do. So you're miserable. You know, and then some people think sometimes, why did someone take their life? Or why did someone do this? Or why have they done that? Because you've got expectations on your children or this, that and the other, whatever it is. You've got expectations in a relationship. Because you expect someone to be when you're not looking at yourself. Because, you know, happiness comes within and you'll attract the right people by being that vibration, like I was saying before. And that will go out and bring those situations, experiences and people to you. You know, if you're giving everything of yourself away, you're not going to be happy. Yes, it is about service to others, not service to self. That side do constantly, but you do have to be looking after yourself, putting boundaries up, loving yourself, your soul self, realizing who you are, looking after yourself, you know, health-wise and everything. You know, it's hard because we're all full of different addictions. Like some people will have had drugs, drink, food is an addiction, sugar's an addiction. That's one of the biggest drugs is sugar. It's worse than cocaine. Do you know what I mean? It's like the cocaine of food. It's in everything. So we've all had some sort of addiction. You could have shopping addictions. There's all many sort of addictions that people don't even think of. Lots of different addictions. And we're all trying to break that down. But we're all trying to work on that. We're working on our mind, body and spirit. All together, they all work together. So they've all got to be in alignment with each other. But if you're constantly just doing things to make someone happy and you're depleting yourself of that energy because you're giving it all to them and they're take, what's the point? You just being happy in what you do will emanate out to everybody as well. So that is giving, and it is service to others, you know, as well. There's a lot of way of looking at things, but happiness is not when you're giving your happiness away, because you're giving it away to make someone happy because they don't know how to make their self happy. That is their path. They've got to go down and work out what it actually is, you know, that makes them happy. Not the false happiness of, oh, I've got to act like the fool when I've got to be this person who they expect. There's the expectations again. Sometimes that's in your head of what you think people think they want you to be, when actually it's not. More people like people who are the true selves. And even that sometimes when, you know, you like that person speaks out the mind a bit, but sometimes you respect people more when they're actually being the true authentic self and they're not trying to put an act on. You know, like I said, you could see people on YouTube, you can meet them in real life and they're totally different. I have met people in real life, I'm not any different. A celebrity, you know, you hear a lot of people saying, oh, I met that celebrity and I thought they were dead nice and I met him and they were an absolute arsehole and they weren't like funny or what I thought they were, or they were quite grumpy and this, that and the other. It's like, yeah, because they're putting a persona on. You know, some people wear a lot of masks. I mean, at the minute, there's a lot of people wearing masks because they didn't want people to know that they were actually good people for what's coming in. But, you know, if you're wearing a false mask, take it off. Just be your true authentic self and stop giving a shit what other people think. I think Infinite Waters had a video on the other day about not giving a toss about what other people think. The less you give a toss about what other people think, the happier you will be. Of what other people think of you. You know? I'm not rolling in cash, but I'm always grateful for what I have. I think people forget the simple things in life. Yes, they do, Effie. They think that everything's to do with loads and loads of money. They're working loads and loads of money. I want this big car, I want that. If you've got a roof over your head, like you were saying before, food on your table, your kid, blah, 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 blah. That's a lot more than some people have. That you know, the simple things in life are the most precious. And simple things in life can make you happy. But people are always running to stuff all the time. This, and this, and then they want more, 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 more. And that's why they chase. And that's why they're never happy. Because you're constantly chasing. Yeah, and say thank you for what you have. Be grateful. It's like me yesterday. I was grateful that I had a cuddle. Because I felt that cuddle. And I was just grateful for that cuddle because it was just... A cuddle is so... I haven't even got words for it. Feeling someone's energy next to you, like, resonating to one another. That's in a relationship, giving your parent a cuddle, your kids a cuddle, whatever that, you know, when someone's giving you a genuine cuddle, I'm not talking about when someone's being like, oh yeah, I mean a long cuddle, you know, where you can feel, well, I can, someone's heart, and that's just what I feel when someone's being genuine with, you know, a cuddle. Living in the moment. Everything's about living in the moment. People don't live in the moment. They're always looking at what they're getting, what in the future, when I get that. This is about manifesting as well. When I get that, I'm going to be happy when I get that big house, that big car, that, yeah, brilliant. But that means you're not happy now. And that's when I was talking about manifesting. See, it comes back in again. The universe will send you all the crappy stuff again because you're not happy. Because you put in the projection out of, I'll be happy when I get that. That means you're not happy now. I'm seeing the birds in the morning feeding their young. Yeah, that's good. Hug time. Yeah, nice cuddle. Cuddling my 2 grandchildren after 14 weeks was pricey. Yeah. Well, in this what's going on, social distancing, my God. A hug, a cuddle releases happiness in the body. Yes, it does. That's why they don't want people, social distancing. They don't want people in people's spheric energy, you know, buzzing off people's energy. Yeah, it makes you smile. And it's that you can breathe it in as well as mad as it sounds. It's like, oh my God, that energy is so like... When someone gives someone a cuddle when they're upset, their anxiety goes down. So, you know, when people say, oh, you can't see things. No, but you can bloody feel it, can't you? Cuddles are one of my favourite things on earth. Exactly. You know, some people go, what are you talking about? You know, people who are probably not like sort of, oh, what do you call it? Yeah, stuck in human race. Affectionate. They're missing out on so much. You get a lot of people who are not affectionate. It's like I was saying about people who have to be the big guy and all that. And it's like they miss out on so much because they're afraid to let the guard down. And it probably is from trauma and certain stuff. They're afraid to love. They're afraid to give that love out. They're even afraid to receive. And it's like, it's not a frightening thing. It's the most beautifulest thing. Something as small as a cuddle is like a massive thing to some people. Because it gives, your energy goes on to that person. And that's why it calms people down, and, you know, it's love. Love is what heals us all. It is. That's all we need. It is. That's why I believe him out the Beatles, what's his face? Who was in that Q thing I talked about, the John Lennon. The song he brought out, all you need is love. Do 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 do. I think he was mid. All you do need is love. If everyone loved each other a bit more, but like I said, it's not through not putting boundaries up, and there is tough love sometimes, but love is the key. That's why in the film The Fifth Element, the last piece we were looking for was love. Not false love as in, oh, I love you because yeah, John, you can give me, you've got loads of money and I love it because, you know, or because a lot of people are like that. They go for materialistic things. Women do it, men do it, you know. You get gold diggers who just do things. They're not really in love with the person. They're in love with what they're getting, money or whatever it is, or jewels or whatever it is. It's like, really? You love material things that you can't take with you. That saying, again, I'm going to have to write it down because I can't remember. Anyone remember the saying of, we're supposed to something like love each other and not things, but in this world today, I don't know what the quote is, we actually love things and not people. That's so back to front. But that's how society gets you. That's how celebs get you wanting, consuming. Yeah, it's nice to have things and buy things. That's not saying you can't, but we consume too much. We consume too much meat. We consume too much shit. And then we have landfill things with clothes and stuff like that because people aren't recycling and doing certain stuff with clothing. They're just chucking out with fast fashion. You know, it goes into all that. Little light of love. Yeah. So true. She was not an emotional person, but now she feels the need to hug. Who's not an emotional person? Yeah, they don't want us to share the truth and discuss, to share the love and discuss. No, they don't. That's why they're censoring YouTube and doing what they're doing all over. Oh, I know you're having a conversation and I can't even see what's going on. But yeah, love is the key. And that's why I say don't even get mad with yourself when you're residing in a bit of anger and your mum, okay, yeah, and stuff like that, because my mum used to find it hard to say she loved me and my sister, even though we came from, you know, just normal childhood, you know, but she says it more now. She says it a lot now because I think she realised she doesn't and she likes to say it now. I think it's because she's getting older and stuff. It's funny. It's like we're afraid to give love, but it does go back in cycles of past because my nana was a bit like that, like they didn't show their feelings, so then you sort of like don't show your feelings because they didn't show the feelings. It's all like one big bloody messy cycle. Yeah, exactly. They're not the key, are they? Yeah, the power of love. The power of love. And it's true when people can sit there, well, that's hippy dippy. Well, that's all. Well, it's not. I've never heard I love you from any of my family. Oh, well, we'll say to you, we love you. We love you. It's probably just because families back in the day didn't always hear it off their parents. They could have quite stubborn parents back in the day and they didn't show love. They were quite hard, if you know what I mean, like my nana's time. So it's not always because they don't. It's because they find it hard to release it, you know, to let themselves go. In that sense sometimes, and some people do it through money or they'll buy you things because they don't know how to express it. And this is what I was saying at the beginning of the chat about relationship I was in. I feel sorry for people sometimes because they don't know how to express certain things. So they just get angry. They don't know how. Some people like want to, but they're afraid to. They're afraid to say maybe nice words sometimes because it just feels weird. It's true. I don't blame them, as that's how they learn. Yeah, that's how they learned, and that's how people have got to, like, this whole thing of what's coming, and you know, coming into unconditional love. That you've got to realize that it's not their fault because they were programmed that way, and then it goes on and on and on, like that. A little bit like when we say about Hollywood and these elites, and even some of those have been brought up in families where that's how, whatever they're doing is what they've been programmed to believe is right. And it's that thing of, in a sense, it's not really their fault. If you look at it like that, it's like you can understand, you know, why they act the way they do. It feels uncomfortable sometimes, the heart energy is so, but the more you do it, and the more you try and get into gratitude, and slowly maybe start trying to say, you know, people who like kinder words, different things, trying to bring it in, it will come in. It's just breaking old programs, and it does feel weird sometimes, you know. And I've had to put barriers up sometimes where, you know, I gradually have to build them barriers back down, because you do sometimes, through going through certain things, you do put them barriers up. But that's why sometimes they want people traumatized, because they want them to build the barriers up, so they're never giving that love out. And then they because people are so used to, like, oh, it's going to happen again. But then again, if you feel like it's going to happen again, it probably is, because you're not letting, you could miss out on, like, if it's relationship, someone coming in your life or something coming in your life where it would have been amazing, but you've sort of blocked off. But like I said, you do have to have barriers in a sense, but, you know, sometimes you feel you're not deserving of love, or you feel love is worthless. Yeah, you do, because people go on about, like I said at the beginning, with certain relationships, people can make you feel like you're not deserving of love. They'll make you feel like you're nothing, and you believe it, and it's not true. Everyone is deserving of love, and it's the best feeling, you know, that you know you're with someone who loves you because of you, not because of what you've got, what house you live in, what car you drive, all that crap. That if that went away, which that might have happened to some people in lockdown where they've lost their job. Yes, I know it's not nice, this, that, but then people thinking, oh my god, you know, did they actually love you for you? That's why a lot of people who are famous and got a lot of money, oh yeah, look at this girl on my arm and all. Yeah, did they really love you? Or would they still be with you if you lost it all? You know, have you got a good personality? Have you got a good loving vibe about you that someone would want to stay with you through thick and thin, and you'd work through it together? Or would they just be like, see you later, on to the next person who's got more money, or this, that, and the other? I'd hate that. It must be so lonely to think, really, do you know if someone's actually with you for that or not? Anyway, I better go, because I've been sat here waffling for ages. Still don't probably don't know if any made sense, but yeah. And like I've said, we're all on our individual path, doing it the way we were meant to do it, doing it where we're meant to do it, being where we're meant to be right now. I'm meant to be on here waffling on with myself, why people are listening, whether they get it or not. Doing what I'm supposed to be doing right now. We're all where we're supposed to be right now, doing what we're supposed to be doing right now. We're all finding Five Tribe. Thank you. And just to keep on going, because we are getting there. We are going to have a new world. In a new world, it's here anyway. If we're staying on the time, you know, the energy lines of this is what's coming in, this is what we want. We're not going to let people dim our light. We're not going to let people tell us what we are and what we aren't. We're not going to let people, you know, distract us from what we want to come in and tell us certain falsities about ourselves when we know it's not true. You know who you are. You know your truth. Don't let anybody ever tell you anything different. Yeah, keep on moving, keep on pushing higher. Yeah, song. Oh, yeah. And there's that song, isn't there? 'Cause your love is lifting me higher, higher, higher and higher. Oh, your love's lifting me higher, higher and higher. 'Cause your love is lifting me higher. higher, higher and higher, 'cause your love's lifting me. Go off tune now. But yeah, your love will lift people higher. If you're in a relationship and all that, it should be lifting both of you higher, not one of you lower and one of you higher. If a mad song comes into your head, just sing it out loud. It puts you in a good mood. Good night. Thanks all for the lovely vibes. You're welcome. Yeah, you know me. I can't sing, but I'll sing. Thanks everyone for being here and sharing the love energy and yeah, I probably, I've been on three times, but don't know if any of it made sense. But there you go. I will try and be more awake when I'm talking to Red Pill Phil and try and get that energy chat over. But anyway, it was nice to be here sharing with all you lot in chat. You're all great. You're all beautiful in chat. There's an energy going in. There's always a great ass energy in chat. We get the odd ones in like we did before. But like I said, when you're shining your light, you get the little moths are coming, don't you? But they end up getting burned, don't they? So if you would like to send Dolly a coffee donation, PayPal is in the live chat. If you want to, you don't have to. It's up to you. You have free will. So, bye, Dolly. Thanks for all your loving chat. Yeah, and thanks for all coming in, sharing your vibes with each other and chatting to each other in chat when you're chatting and all that. So, yeah, I'm probably pooped out now. Like I said, I've been on 3 times. But like I said, just keep vibing high. I'll give you a ring in a week. Yeah, that's fine. And yeah, I'll just keep on doing me creativity, pumping that out to the universe. Yeah, and I've been dreaming a lot. I've been dreaming every night and remembering, which is great. So something's going on because I'm actually remembering. I used to not really remember stuff. Same to you, Dolly, having a good natter. Yeah, and it's keeping you away from the shit that's going out over there, So thanks for all being here in peace and love. Thank you. Yeah. So, yeah, where we go, one way go all. Like I said, when you start getting a bit in the energies, vibrating, just try and remember what energy you're vibrating in and try and change it to a higher frequency. Take a bit of time out, even if it's just 10 minutes to think, what is this coming in? Am I just feeling other energies that are coming in? Or, when something's annoying you, and just breathe a little bit before you react to it. That can be any situation, saying something to your partner, your kids, whatever, and just think, is it just what's going on at the minute? It's all coming in, because it is everywhere at the minute. I've got a Skype. You've got a Skype. Well, you can get me on Skype on Dollar Dard Room. But yeah, I better go because I could jack on for another 5,000 hours. So I don't think I'd have a problem with it at all. I could probably do a 24-hour show talking about whatever comes in. Trying to think if there's anything in here that I've done new. No. Well, only my new little designs where you get 2 different ones. I've just not put the ones that are going with this one yet. But they've got glass beads on, and these 3 are, I think that's rose quartz. I don't know what that one is, but they are gemstones. And there's going to be another little one on there. But yeah, I'm just sat in here, probably going to sit here now and just carry on, because I get a lot of good ass energy in here. I might actually go, hi Gary Rich, I might actually go and see if I can film some orbs while it's darker. But yeah, thank you. Everything you talked about resonated with me and I feel better for it. Thank you. I don't even know if it made sense or really covered it the way I should have done, but that's the way I do it. And by Gary Rich and others saying what you're saying there about it resonated and made you feel better. If it made you feel better, that's great. That's all I want. So smell you later, guys. Bye.